Let's get nasty on a Friday. It's the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN with Andrew Marsh, Carey Davis, and Jamie Rivers. I'm Anthony Stalter. 202. Your time check is brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler. Well, despite all the fans bitching about Jordan Binnington not being worthy of eating their poutine, let alone winning a big game in the Four Nations tournament, Team Canada did defeat Team USA last night in the Four Nations championship game, mostly thanks to Jordan Binnington, the same person that they did not want in net. And I think we saw last night that karma does, in fact, not exist, seeing as how Canada did not get what they richly deserved.
Oh, I believe they did get what they deserved. They deserved to win.
I thought you were going to start singing as soon as the music dropped, as soon as it stopped.
Oh, yep. Canada.
Don't forget to skip a line.
Yeah, skip a line, change the language, whatever you want. Let's make it your own night at the National Anthem convention.
Congratulations, Jamie. Your birth country won. A meaningless tournament. Doesn't count.
The amount of viewers tells me it wasn't meaningless, Anthony.
Congratulations. You won a made-up tournament.
I love that, by the
Canada.
way. Social media is a wonderful thing sometimes. It's actually humorous if you can really put yourself in the right frame of mind. Because after the first game between Canada and the United States, there's the biggest victory ever for the United States. I mean, epic proportions. And then reading today, it was a meaningless tournament. Mm-hmm. Wait, what?
Nobody cares. Fictional tournament.
They made up their own rules, you know.
They made up their own rules.
They did. And they still screwed that up a little bit.
Yeah.
No, look, it was a hell of a game. It was exactly what you wanted. Now, I know a lot of people probably wanted the 3 fights again, and they wanted blood all over the ice. There were times where I thought it might happen. But both of these teams wanted to win, man. They want to win. Last thing you want to do in the final game is be the difference maker in a negative way, to where you go take a stupid 2 or 4 minute penalty, the other team scores 2 goals, it's over.
Right.
So you got to be very careful. You have to keep your emotions in check. I thought both teams did a fantastic job of that throughout the night. I thought that the U.S. team smothered the hell out of the Canadian superstars. Like Nathan McKinnon, he scores that goal, but think about the amount of times throughout the game where he was not able to make plays. Connor McDavid was invisible. We'll get into that later. For most of the game until he scores the overtime winner. The U.S. national team did it unbelievable. Brady Tkachuk, what a monster. Like, what a monster. He came out there last night and basically willed his way upon the Canadian team. Scores goal, running guys over, like he's hell on wheels. It says a lot about the U.S. team. Mm-hmm. Now, one big problem that they had was they only had Matthew Tkachuk for half the game. And I do believe that was a big part in the Canadian victory, mostly because Matthew Tkachuk, he's also a big game player.
Yeah.
And scores a lot of big game goals, such as overtime winners in Stanley Cup playoff runs and things like that. So I think it was the Canadians, it was to their benefit to not have Matthew Tkachuk out there for half the game. But if we circle it back to the star of the show last night, I don't care about Connor McDavid, Nathan McKinnon. The star of the show, you ask any Canadian reporter, I've read it all today, Jordan Binnington. Jordan Binnington. Compliments to Jon Cooper. He knew. Jon Cooper knew. Yeah, he told everybody from before this tournament even started, but Binnington's our guy.
They never wavered.
It never wavered. He knew that in the big moment he was going to come up big. And in typical Jordan Binnington fashion, he did, man. Mm-hmm. Like, that, he made 20 saves in a row to end the game. But that overtime, they had 6 high-danger chances.
Austin Matthews, 2 of them, 3 of them.
Brady Tkachuk, one-timer. Binner has to do the splits to get a glove save on the puck. Like,
yep.
Jordan Binnington, I mean, he changed a lot of people's minds up in Canada, and he really solidified himself as maybe the best big-game goalie in the NHL.
Peter Baugh tweeted this out. Jordan Binnington, he tweeted out that Jordan Binnington is a flawed goaltender. But here are his career numbers in a winner-take-all game. 29 of 30 saves in 2019. Second-round game, 7 against Dallas. So in that Pat Maroon game, which was really the Jordan Binnington game until the Pat Maroon game, 29 of 30 saves in that matchup. 32 of 33 saves in the Stanley Cup Final, Game 7 against Boston. Last night, 31 of 33 saves in the Four Nations Face-Off Final. 3-0, obviously, for his teams. Mm-hmm. Binnington is a big-time goalie. The only consolation for Team USA not winning last night was that Jordan Binnington was outstanding. And everybody that talked so much crap before the tournament, during the tournament, even last night when he was saving Team Canada.
I was in a Twitter fight with a
Marsh
guy.
got in a Twitter fight.
I even told you about it.
We'll get to that in a second. I love the fact that Binnington shut everybody up. And now everybody, Team Canada. Not Team Canada, because they believed in him. But the Canadian hockey fans got a big dose of shut your mouth last night.
I was listening, I think it was PK Subban saying that the thing that frustrates people about Jordan Binnington is he'll give up that goal that you think he should save, but then he stands on his head and he's making saves. You're like, how the hell is he doing it? So it can be frustrating, but when it comes time to make a play, like it's all, Jamie knows this, when you got guys that are elite at their craft and you know that you can rely on them, depend on them when it's crunch time, when it's the most important time, that to me is those are the players you want to be on your team. Those are the guys you want to have around and you want to see them perform at that highest level, and that's what he was able to do last night. And it was a great game. I mean, I had fun last night. I was at the Rivers house and eating
How was that?
Jamie Rivers poutine. He had some poutine.
Sure.
Yeah, it was good. Yeah,
Real good.
Canadian dish.
What was he wearing?
So look, we know. We had talked all week. Who are you rooting for? I mean, he was kind of playing coy about it. I see him through the window as I'm pulling up with a sweater on, a Canadian sweater. I'm like, I got my answer. So as soon as he opens the door, I got my camera out. Pow, take a picture.
Nice job.
I didn't want him to change or have a, at some point mid game, we come out of this. Nobody saw it. No, I saw it. So I took a picture, sent it to the group to make sure we were all on the same page. We have our answer, and then we all got the picture after Team Canada won, where he has full Canada gear on. And
baby.
Wasn't enough clothes, in my opinion.
Come on.
He didn't put that on until I left, though. Thank God.
He looked like he was a part of the Canadian ski team.
Totally.
So,
And I know. And he had the United States Speedo underneath just in case. I know you did. I know you did.
no, the Freedom Bird was not. It was tucked away.
I believe Jamie on this one.
The Speedo was under the shorts.
I think he was always Team Canada.
Yeah. It was there. And the jacket that I wore, I bought it online. It's actually a warm-up jacket for, I think, the Canadian Olympic team for the speed skaters.
It was a little snug.
Oh, it's so snug.
He had to peel it off at one point. He was like, I'm sweating.
I was like,
God.
Now I know why they wear these. Like, I was like, man, they must
Nice
be
and warm.
cold. They're not cold at all. So I'm like, the next time we have a cold day, I'm going to put that sucker on under my jacket.
Yeah.
But I was starting to sweat a little bit, and that thing was a little snug. And then when they won, of course, just let it all out. Mm-hmm. There you go.
Congrats, Jamie.
Kids were enjoying it.
Marsh, why don't you tell us about your Twitter beef last night? Because you, at one point, you also texted the group with the exchange that you had with a very dumb Canadian hockey fan who also reports on the game.
Yeah, so he's an AHL writer, and, he's tweeting about Binnington staying in his net. He's like, I'm paraphrasing here, I just want my goaltender to tend the net. And I'm like, do you not know how, hockey works and how much a goalie can alleviate pressure on his defense by coming out of the net? Jordan Binnington is one of the best in the league at handling the puck. And how many times did we see last night Jordan Binnington go back for a puck, and all of a sudden the U.S. team had zero forecheck, and Canada was going the other way? Countless times. And so
The one time he didn't, the U.S. scored.
Yeah.
It was mind-boggling to me, and I'm thinking, I'm watching the game, and I'm like, how do these people come to this conclusion, but also say that you're the country that made the sport?
Yeah, that guy's an idiot. We don't claim him.
Well, there's thousands of them, though. There's thousands of these people. It makes zero sense, and to me, it just shows that a lot of these people don't watch Blues hockey. They don't get the opportunity to watch what Binnington can do on a night in and night out basis, and they continue to run with the notion that he's a head case. They haven't watched Blues hockey in 2 years.
Yeah,
right.
He doesn't even do that anymore.
He did show emotion after they won.
Which was awesome. I would, too.
I was hoping he would just hit the post and skate off like you like.
Psychopath style.
I'm done here.
Yep.
Yeah.
My work is done here.
Yeah.
I think
catch a
Jordan
flight back to St. Louis.
Binnington got a good dose of playing for Canada.
He felt some of the pressure.
He did.
I'm sure
Guaranteed
he did.
the pressure cooker was mounting a little bit, and no one more relieved. Well, I shouldn't say no one. I believe he's just as relieved as anybody else on that Canadian team when they won, which is why he showed a little bit of emotion, because it probably was the first time he was able to exhale since being anointed the starting goalie from the beginning of the tournament.
Right.
I was really hoping in that overtime, rooting for the United States, but also rooting for the success of Jordan Binnington. Once he made like 3 of those 10-bell saves, I was like, okay, I think he did his job. Mm-hmm. I just hope one of these shots goes off the breezers of somebody in front, and like there's nothing you can do about it, and the United States wins. Like that would have been a win-win for me. But still happy for Jordan Binnington, Colton Parayko. Like, that was a great game. It was a great game for the sport of hockey. Like, that's my way of coping with the United States loss.
No, Marcia, it's not a real tournament. Don't worry about it.
Exactly. Yeah, you don't have to cope with anything.
Okay.
It's fine.
It was
You
a
guys
fictional
can't even
tournament.
win a fake tournament.
Well, it was a real tournament last Saturday, but now it's not.
Oh, yeah. In the round robin, it was real.
First of all, we're even.
When's game 3 going to be played?
Exactly. We're 1-1.
Let's check the count.
We need the rubber match.
Here in America, we have at least best of 3.
There you go.
You know?
Okay.
You don't just get one win, you earn it. You know?
Really?
Yeah.
Seems to me the wild card game used to be one and done.
They changed that, didn't they?
It's
America's
different.
sport, too, Anthony.
It's different.
Not according to ESPN.
Yeah, we don't claim baseball anymore. All right, it's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. Speaking of baseball, Katie Wu laid out what happened, what transpired this offseason that kept Arenado here in St. Louis. We'll go over if anything surprised us from the article, but I also had as I was reading through this, one of the questions I had was, well, why can't the Cardinals ever seem to execute their offseason plan, at least of late? That's next on 101 ESPN.
Hey, it's Carey Davis, and if you have any car needs at all, my good friends over at All Things Appearance can help you out. Whether that's dent repair, collision repair, they can do it all. It could be ceramic coating, paint, detailing, standard maintenance, anything that you need associated with a car. Give my friend Jeff a call. He is the owner. You can call him at 636-248-5051, or you can reach out to them at allthingsappearance.com. That number that I just gave you is Jeff's personal phone number. That's his personal cell. You can call him at any time. You can call him when you get off work at 7 p.m. tonight. You can call him tomorrow morning, Sunday morning. He will respond. He will get you in and get you out. He will work with your warranty company, your insurance company, to make sure you're getting the best price possible. They also offer pickup and delivery, and can also offer towing when necessary. Jeff wanted me to let you know that he can work with you and your deductible when possible to make sure that you are getting the best price to get you back on the road as quickly as possible. And all you need to do, again, is reach out to them at 636-248-5051 or online at allthingsappearance.com. The weather, hopefully, will be starting to break here. They also service boats, jet skis, and motorcycles. So give them a call today, 636-248-5051.
9 teams, two close calls, one blocked trade inside the Cardinals' failed effort to move Nolan Arenado by Katie Wu of The Athletic. She posted this earlier today, and it really was a good summary and a good inside look at how things broke down to leave Nolan Arenado remaining a Cardinal. I don't know if there was anything shocking necessarily or anything we really didn't know about Arenado's process, Cardinals' process to try to trade him, especially the Astros. But there was 2 questions that hit me. One was, if Kyle Tucker doesn't get traded from Houston, I wonder if Nolan Arenado accepts that deal. That was one. Because he had talked about he didn't know if the Astros were one of the teams that were on his okay list to be traded to.
Yeah.
But he wanted to go to a team that he still felt like was all in on winning. Now, from the Astros standpoint, if you lose Alex Bregman, Arenado becomes a natural replacement. But once they dealt Tucker, I think that probably changed things for Arenado. He looks at Houston now and says, you know what? Is this a similar situation that I've been dealing with? Not only in St. Louis, but Colorado, where they were, like, I'm just missing out on that window of them contending. So that was one of the questions I had. I'll get to the other one here in a second. But what about you, Jamie?
Yeah, I've got lots of questions about this. Even though I knew most of it, there's some of it that I didn't know, having been away and whatnot, piecing it all together. Look, the Astros were one of his 5 teams. John Mozeliak did exactly what he was supposed to do. Went and got a deal done with one of the 5 teams. And then Arenado drug his feet for 4 or 5 days or however long it was, through the weekend into the next week and all this stuff. Buddy, you gave me 5 teams. I found you a trade. What are you dragging your feet for? Mm-hmm. And then, of course, the Tucker movement. But that tells me more, and this is just my opinion, Arenado declining the trade because they traded Tucker and Bregman left tells me more about where Arenado views himself now than I thought. And what I mean is, if he still thinks he's the Nolan Arenado of old, he goes to Houston because he's the star player now. Don't need Bregman. You got me. Right. Let's build around me now. Let's go get a championship. But now it feels like he just wants to fall into a star-studded team to carry him across the goal line to get a World Series. That's the feeling I get. It's just my opinion, and it might be unfair. But if he's still a star player in his mind, what he's thinking about, the fact that Bregman left shouldn't matter. Tucker doesn't matter. You talk to the Astros, they went and added right after. Who the hell? They added another guy right after.
They got Isak Paredes, and then after Arenado declined the deal, they got Christian Walker from the Diamondbacks.
Well, all of a sudden, the team looks better now. Mm-hmm. Can you imagine if Arenado was back on that team? See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, to me, I think there's doubt in there. I think he's like,
I mean, he may look at the situation and say, you know what, I just want to play third base and do my thing. And everybody else, the team, I just step into a situation where it's ready to go. I don't want to carry a franchise. And in some respects, you do have to respect it. Like,
I respect it, but
you know
Anthony,
where you're at. But as a competitor,
too much money.
Right. As a competitor, you're like,
plug-in.
You want to be the dude.
He can't be a Brendan Donovan. Just plug me in somewhere and play.
I hear you. I'm with you.
So I don't feel like it's that. I don't feel like it's necessarily, I just want to go to a star-studded team and be, one of the pieces and kind of fade to black and not have to be called upon when the moment arises. For me, if you had a list of teams that you wanted to go to and one of those teams makes a trade getting rid of one of their best pieces or don't resign or don't have that player there, you're looking at it like, well, that's part of the reason why I wanted to go there. He's already been the face of a franchise. He's already been a star paired with another star, and he probably realizes it still ain't enough. Like, to go somewhere where it's not enough pieces around, it's going to be hard to be successful. And so rather than force my way somewhere or force myself in doing something that I've already done, I might as well just stay here. Like, it's no point in me going there and being a part of something. I'm not familiar with that city. The team has obviously just changed because they've traded a player away that I thought was going to be there. And so now I don't want to go there, which, if you're from the Cardinals' perspective, you're frustrated as all get out because, like you said, that was one of the 5 teams you had on your list. But that was before one of those teams got rid of one of their players, and that shifted how
then
he could be
Arenado
looking
should have
at
talked
the
to
team.
the Astros. His agent could talk to you, and they said, hey, listen, we have plans to add. This just happened to be something we made happen. Bregman's a no-brainer. We knew he was leaving, but we plan to add around you.
Well, yeah.
So I'd like to know the details of that. If Arenado just said, well, yeah, the answer's no now. Or if the agent reached out, talked to the Astros filled him in on how, kind of, sort of what the plan was going to be.
And he said no.
I don't know.
Because
I'm not mad at the guy for saying no. So let me clear that up. I'm not mad at him or upset for saying no. Yeah. He has every friggin' right. He's earned it. Mm-hmm. Look at the accolades. He's earned a right to say no to the trade. All I'm saying, and I'm not even mad about it, I think he's doubting himself a little bit. I think he's not. I think he's not looking at himself like a superstar anymore.
Jamie, you've been around those.
Yeah, I've been there.
But you've been around those guys.
You know when you don't have it anymore.
You do know that. But when you are one of the most elite players at your position during a period like that mindset, you almost have to drag that player off of the field and say, hey, brother, you're unable to move in the way you were. Remember when you used to be able to run extremely fast and now you can't?
It's different staying on the field than to be a superstar still.
Yeah, I don't think it was because he doubts his ability to play at the highest level and now I got to go to a new city and carry that franchise. I don't think that's what it was.
But
I think it was mainly.
So let's isolate that for a second. Because if he gets traded to the Astros, like if that was me and Astros were one of my teams, and no matter what they're doing with Tucker and stuff like that, they're still going to be a competitive team. I believe the Astros usually are in the mix. They have been for a long time, cheating or not, whatever the heck's going on. They've been part of that since their demolishment way back before. If I'm Nolan Arenado, and this is one of the teams, knowing full well that the Cardinals' first, second, and third priority is to get rid of me, I'm like, you know what, Astros? I'm your Huckleberry. Let's go make something over here. Let's go do this. It said, he's comfortable here. He's little. He's got his 2-year-old. And 2-year-old. The kid's not even in school yet. Let me tell you about trading and moving around. The kid's not in school. This is the easiest time to do it. Wait till they're in school and then get bopped around. And you got kids in different states going to different classes. You got one kid that's ahead a year, one kid that's behind a year because of the way the cutoffs are. That's the headache. And then on top of that, don't be a star player making $50 million. Jeez. What are we doing here?
I think Christian Walker trade happened after he declined. So when you have that, when you're looking at it from that perspective, you're saying, oh, this team is going in the opposite direction.
That was the Astros
and that was a pivot. Because they couldn't get Arenado. So it's not like they were going to get Arenado and still get Walker. It was like one or the other. I know. So for him looking at it, he's probably saying, well, your best player is gone. You just traded away another guy. I don't feel like that's the situation I'm already in. Why would I go elsewhere and start from scratch when I can just stay here? This team is young. They got some stars. You start looking and comparing the rosters. Like, maybe it ain't as bad as I think. It ain't going to be better over there, so I might as well stay here.
At that point, Boston was also in play.
Were they?
At that point, when he declined Houston,
hadn't signed yet.
Exactly.
But
he declined
we all know
Houston,
that Bregman was their number one option. So if you're number two, it's not really in play until number one says that he doesn't want to be there.
What I'm saying is, at that point, he still had some other options too,
in his mind,
not just the Cardinals.
Yeah, and who's to say that Houston was, if there's a priority list here, if Houston's on the bottom or, where maybe in the middle, it was still roughly early in the offseason to not make that decision because there were other teams that maybe he thought he could be going to, and he didn't want to rush things. So I understand it from that point.
So I'm going to read a paragraph here from Katie Wu. Again, we're talking about Katie Wu's piece in The Athletic, talking about Nolan Arenado. It's a great breakdown, kind of a layout of what transpired this offseason. Arenado and Mozeliak also had to consider the parameters set by the Cardinals. St. Louis wanted to clear space on their roster for their younger players, but ownership also wanted to reduce payroll, citing uncertainty over their television deal with then Bally Sports Midwest. Sorry, Jamie. And a projected drop in gate revenue in 2025. This meant the Cardinals would not be willing to eat most of Arenado's remaining salary. He was owed $74 million over the next 3 seasons, with the Rockies on the hook for $10 million, even if it helped net a better return package. Mozeliak would need to negotiate a deal that minimized the amount of financial responsibility going forward. What I'm about to say isn't completely fair, but I had the thought, and I'm just going to share it.
Uh-oh.
over the last X amount of years, when I read that paragraph, I'm like, oh, so once again, the Cardinals went into the offseason with a plan and accomplished none of it.
Yes.
Clear. Here we go. Read this one line. Won't read the whole thing. Ownership also wanted to reduce payroll. Not check. Citing uncertainty over the television deal with the Bally Sports Midwest, projected gate drop, blah, blah, blah. This meant the Cardinals would not be willing to eat most of Arenado's remaining salary. Not checked. That they were willing to, they also wanted to clear space for the roster for the younger players. Not checked. Last year it was, hey, let's get a couple veteran pitchers. Okay?
Check. Hey, check
That's
that
right.
one.
They
Hey,
did.
check that one.
Let's get a couple of veteran pitchers to eat innings. Lance Lynn. Whole bunch of missed time.
They got
A couple years.
They did halfway.
We're going to bolster the. You know what? We like the internal options of what we have for DH in spring training. Is Albert still around?
Oh, yeah.
When was the last time they went? Besides Contreras,
Last year, they said they needed to add veterans to the bench, and they got to.
Yeah,
They
you
sure
know what,
did.
Carey?
That's exactly where they
You're
were.
right. You're right about that.
Check.
Yeah. This is funny to me. Like, hey, here's Plan A. If anything, we gotta get this done. Yeah, we did. Yeah. All right, it's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. Marsh has got what's trending for you next.
101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. Jordan Binnington with some 10-bell saves in overtime last night in the Four Nations Face-Off Championship game between the United States and Canada. Jordan Binnington and Connor McDavid helping Canada pick up the 3-2 victory in overtime. We'll discuss more about the Four Nations Face-Off throughout the remainder of the show. But coming up next, we have What's Trending. I'm Andrew Marsh, and the Sports Center update is driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. See them at londoff.com. Chevy, together we drive. Are you kidding me?
What are the hot topics in the sports world?
What in the wide world of sports is going on here?
It's time to find out with
What's Trending? Brought to you by Elite Comfort Experts. Heating and cooling with no gimmicks, just guarantees. EliteComfortExperts.com.
Welcome back to the Fast Lane here on 101 ESPN with Anthony Stalter, Jamie Rivers, and Carey Davis. I'm Andrew Marsh, and it's time for What's Trending. Gentlemen, Austin Matthews robbed point blank several times by Jordan Binnington last night. A stat that I find absolutely crazy is that Austin Matthews is 0-7 in winner-take-all games. Ouch. Can you remember any other player like that just could not get over the hump in their career, even though being one of the better players in their said league?
Carey's guy, Peyton Manning, for the longest time. I'm not even knocking Peyton Manning. It's just that was the knock. He couldn't win not only a Super Bowl but like the game, and eventually he did, and all that went away, rightfully so. He was still going to be one of the best ever, but Peyton Manning had that knock. I don't know if he was 0-7, but there was a lot of playoff losses for Peyton Manning before he eventually beat the Bears in that Super Bowl.
So this is more of a team question, right? The individual as part of a team.
Yeah.
Well, but like what I'm saying, Carey, is if Austin Matthews would have had 2 goals last night, the U.S. still loses. He's still losing.
Yeah, team still lost.
Yeah. Because you'd have to, if I'm going to stick in the sport of hockey, you'd have to default to 2 guys in particular, Patrick Marleau and Joe Thornton. Sorry, Anthony. Didn't mean to bring that up.
No, you're good.
But those are 2 of the greatest San Jose Sharks in the history of their franchise, and they never got the Sharks over the hump. And that team was a powerhouse for many years, and they couldn't do it. And so, but now they also had good playoff performances, good stats and stuff in playoffs, but the team itself could never get it done.
Jim Kelly.
Yeah, Jim Kelly's a great one.
Which is crazy.
4
It's
in
crazy.
Super Bowls. And I know it's not you mentioned Peyton Manning. I mean, Peyton at least won 2. Jim went 4 times in a row, and again, it's not an individual game or statistic, but you go to 4 of them and you don't win any, that's tough.
Yeah.
I also thought about Jerry West. I think he went 1-8 in the finals in basketball. Didn't see it, but
The logo?
no, he was there. LeBron James, like 4 for 14 or something, 4 for 10. It's a lot of losses.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I guess the best way to look at it is that at least you're there, right?
Is it?
I think the first time, maybe. At least we got there. After 2, you're like, okay.
This is a bit much.
After 3, I want to just punch myself in the face.
Yeah.
After 4, well.
Yeah.
But Jamie's right. It's a team. It's a team. And Carey, I know you've.
That was Carey that said that, actually.
Well, Jamie said it here, but
okay.
Carey and
Gets us confused.
All the time.
So easy.
He's the Canadian. Okay. That's how you tell us apart.
Jamie
Among
just
other things.
Jamie just said it. Carey, you have said it in the past
okay.
as well.
All right.
It's a team. It's a team record. It's not just you as the individual, but when you're great, the expectations are higher. So it almost becomes like you against the league.
Well, and I think on the flip side of that, Connor McDavid last year in Game 7 of the Stanley Cup, didn't really do much. Had a couple chances late in that game to tie the game against the Panthers, but he ultimately gets the game-winning goal after, and he even said it, not really doing much in this game.
Yeah.
And there was a reason for that.
Well, for sure, Plenty.
We'll talk about it later.
We'll break that down.
Absolutely.
Yep. Jamie's got good thoughts on that.
Kirk Cousins, maybe.
Who's that?
Yeah. Can win the big one.
Well, Kirky. I don't know if a divisional playoff game is the big one.
They all matter. If you've never been past that.
No, he did win one. He won a divisional round game, I believe.
Did he?
He won a wild card game.
Damn it, Anthony, you're right. Against the Saints.
Yep.
You know who caught that touchdown pass?
Stephon Diggs.
No, Kyle Rudolph.
Correct.
In New Orleans.
And if you get picked for the Gauntlet today, I'm going to give you 1 point heading into it.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. A lot of people thought that it'd be Stephon Diggs, but that was Case Keenum who threw that.
That was Case.
Kirk Cousins threw the touchdown pass to Kyle Rudolph in New Orleans.
Some say it was an OPI. I disagree.
And then the following week,
They got absolutely steamrolled by the 49ers because Kevin Stefanski was going to be the Browns' new head coach and didn't care. Moving on.
well said.
Yesterday, we talked about facial hair, including giving it a star. Well, speaking of facial hair, this might be the biggest news for facial hair. The New York Yankees have revised their facial hair policy to allow players to have well-groomed beards.
I can play for the Yankees now. That's the only thing holding me back.
Yeah, that was it.
That's it.
Yep.
I love
You're clear now.
I'm good.
I love how the Yankees now. It's such a Yankee thing to do. It's also a Lou Lamoriello thing with the Islanders because he's still the same way. No beards, short hair, like all the crazy stuff. The Yankees now, well-groomed beards. Okay. Define well-groomed. Because then who's the first player that gets fined for a non-well-groomed beard?
Like Brandon Marsh does not have a well-groomed beard.
I understand that. But then, so what are the parameters?
That is a great
Like,
question.
if you let it go just a little bit without going to your local barber and having that sucker trimmed up nicely, like...
Well, what about the people that, like, grow beards, but in reality probably shouldn't? Like, I was told that if you can't grow a beard, you shouldn't.
Right.
Like patches of beard?
Yeah, like I'm assuming
that looks worse.
Those people will have to trim it up a little bit, right?
But,
well,
like,
you know what?
define well-groomed. Like,
I feel like you just know,
that's in the eye of the beholder. Like that's
true.
In Steinbrenner. Like if he looks at a guy and says, "Well, that's how he's unkept."
Yeah.
The guy beside him has literally the same length beard, but he just sees it differently. Like,
well, this is the whole. Have you guys ever seen the popular Simpsons episode where they had all of the like Major League Baseball stars show up to play like with Homer?
I didn't see that
a long time ago. Well, the one of the ongoing jokes was Mr. Burns, who is Homer's boss at the plant. Like he owns the team, and he keeps telling Don Mattingly to shave his sideburns, get rid of his sideburns. So at one point, Mattingly, because he doesn't like, he keeps telling him to do it. Mattingly has like his hair all the way, like just shaved all the way up.
yeah.
And I think Burns eventually like cuts him because he won't get rid of his side, even though he's got like no hair. So that's one of like what you're talking about,
Pretty
Jamie.
much,
It
like,
is.
what's the barometer?
That episode
here?
has now come to life. Where you're right. What is the barometer? Well, you better have a barber in there. You better have a barber
Really,
in the clubhouse.
the Yankees
then.
have a barber in the clubhouse.
But, I mean, you might as well have one there.
Yeah.
I actually
Trim it up if it's that important.
I don't like this, actually.
Oh, wow.
That might be, I might be going against the grain here. I like that they are clean cut or have mustaches. Like, give me a full team of mustaches. Remember when Matt Carpenter had a nice mustache playing for the Yankees? Like, you're the Yankees, right? Like, they're in like a category of their own,
right?
In terms of the lore of baseball.
But are they starting to feel it from some of the players and players that aren't going there because they're getting equal money somewhere else, but there's less of a hassle?
I mean, if you're worrying about your facial hair, if that's affecting the way you play baseball.
But it is
like you.
We're talking about
you want to be
culture a
you.
lot.
You want to be you.
I get that.
Like most black men have facial hair. Like it's just. It is what it is. So if you're looking at a certain player that doesn't want to cut his facial hair off, and he's like, well, I'm not going to New York. I'm not playing for the Yankees. Vladimir Guerrero, darker skinned man, not black, but he's got facial hair. Junior, not the senior. He's done playing.
He was pretty good, too.
He was really good. I mean, he probably can still hit a few out if you allow him. He did hit a lot to right field, too.
He had a great batting stance.
Yeah.
But, yeah, maybe that's a player that they're looking at in the future and say, hey, I just said in the article. Maybe that's a reason for this approval a year ahead of time. You don't want to re-sign old Vladdy, huh? Oh, we'll take him. You don't even have to cut your hair, buddy. You can sign here. We'll pay you lots of money. It's for the Yankees.
Yeah.
I'm sure the Dodgers will get him.
Might be my American League team. going forward.
Oh, my God.
Might as well,
You
yeah.
asked me for an East
Carey,
Coast
you
team
might
or a
as
West
well.
Coast team, right?
Hey, well, the funny thing
And
is,
I
you
got
said
one in the
East
middle,
Coast. You're
yeah.
like, they're my East Coast team. I'm like,
Yeah.
who's your East Coast team?
The Yankees.
The Yankees now.
There you
Okay.
go.
Carey,
This rule just did it for me.
Tomorrow, I'll come into the. Well, I guess we won't be here tomorrow.
No, I was gonna say
Well,
I
you
don't
can come on
think you
in
can.
anyways, Marsh. You're fine.
Come on in, Marsh.
Yeah,
Monday, I'll show up and I'll also give you a Cowboys shirt because that'll be your NFC team.
No.
If you're a Yankees fan, you got to be a Cowboys fan, right?
That's sick.
Yeah, he's a Ravens fan.
Yeah,
Well, that's his
true.
AFC
I'm a
team.
That's his
Steelers
AFC
fan.
team. The Eagles are his NFC team.
That's true.
Okay. Yeah.
Eagles and Ravens.
Cool. Steelers and Ravens. Pennsylvania.
Jamie has 3 teams. You can be a Cowboys fan.
Steelers and
Sure.
You're just picking all these
Eagles.
popular teams.
Did you say Steelers and Ravens?
He did?
We didn't. You ratted yourself out. The text line would have heard, though. So
There.
yeah, you did a nice job.
And by the way, the Islanders, I don't think they're good enough to have this rule.
I agree with that.
Like,
Totally
I
agree.
think the Yankees are good enough to have this rule,
Yeah.
and now they don't. But the Islanders aren't good enough to do that.
No.
That's why, like, I don't understand
Be
that.
your own team, Islanders.
Yeah.
Stop being
Like-
stop trying to be the Yankees without any of this success.
Like when Kyle Palmieri was traded to the Islanders, a guy with a massive beard and all of a sudden had to shave it, it just didn't look
Like,
good.
oh, put it back on. Put it back on.
That's your face? It's a tough look. All right, it's a Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. Has one of the local teams lost some character that it had just a few years ago? We'll get into that next on 101 ESPN.
Are you thinking about selling your home? If you are, you need a reliable, experienced, and trusted agent, and that is Gloria Lou with Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. And look, Gloria's name says it all. She's the expert. And Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty, come on, guaranteeing to sell your home. Gloria has mastered the art of selling your home. She does a fantastic job of knowing exactly what your home should be priced at. And that's, we know how it is in St. Louis. There's different area codes, or zip codes rather, and you want to sell your home within that zip code. Well, there's certain prices that sell homes in those areas. Gloria Lou knows exactly what that is, and she will price your home accordingly. She also has lots of buyers, thousands of buyers in her database. That pushes a lot more traffic to your listing. Hopefully multiple offers, maybe a little more money at the end of it all. And you will get to the closing table with Gloria Lou. So please pick up the phone, call her, tell her that Jamie Rivers sent you in. Her number's 314-325-6888. Again, that's 314-325-6888. Or you can always visit GloriaHasTheBuyers.com.
St. Louis City SC tweeted out that they had acquired in general allocation money from the Philadelphia Union in exchange for their midfielder, Indiana Vassilev. They thanked him. Thanks for everything, Indy. Peace out. If you read some of the comments from on X, including one from Garrett here, this is a bummer to see with all the new players coming in. His playing time was going to be shortened, so it makes sense why he would want out. He was and still will be one of my favorites. Seems like a lot of fun and a great locker room guy. Hope to see him in the USMNT uniform. There's some other comments about, hey, the casual fan might be disappointed here. That is who we're talking about over the next couple of minutes. We're talking about the casual City fan, the casual MLS fan. If you're following the team, you're a diehard, you're living and dying on every move they make, this conversation will be elementary for you. But I do wonder if City has lost some of that character that the inaugural season had. Roman Berkey's still here, but some of the characters that they had in that first season, a lot of the players that people were kind of gravitating to either go watch or watch on TV or follow their story, no longer here.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of turnover, which I understand in MLS, that's part of it. There is a lot of turnover in soccer. But I wonder if, again, the casual fan, the one that might go to one game per year for the environment, but otherwise isn't going to buy the Apple TV subscription. I wonder if you lose the casual fan with so much turnover.
I think it can be more difficult for a new fan to buy into the team, because if you buy into a certain player or players and they're gone next year, and the next year they have another player and he's gone, you're like, okay, I don't really know what I'm buying into here.
Yeah.
But, I think the turnover was also based upon the fact that Bradley Carnell is not your coach anymore. When Bradley Carnell first came in, I believe we had him on this show, or we had him on the midday show. I forget where we were at the time, but you and I did have him on a show that we were on. And he first thing he talked about was this blue-collar mentality. We got off the interview with him. We said, man, he sounds like Craig Berube.
Yeah.
And that's the personality of the team at that point. But he also went and got players to match that thought. And now the new coach might look at these players and say, okay, they're gritty, they're blue-collar, but they're not good enough for what we need to do. And therefore, he goes and makes some moves, trades some guys.
Which isn't wrong, and it's well within his right, because he wants to have his own identity.
Nothing wrong or right about it. At the end of the day, it's always going to stink when you have players that move. Like, look at all the people that have Pietrangelo jerseys, O'Reilly jerseys, Tarasenko jerseys. Now, those guys were here for an extended period of time and whatnot, but still the same concept is players leave all the time, or they're traded, or they get bought out, or whatever the case. But yeah, I could see how if you're getting attached to a team, you're trying to learn about a team, you're trying to be a soccer fan and get involved, how figuring out where all these players are coming from, first of all, where are they going, where are they coming from, because there's transfers from Bundesliga and all this stuff, and then they're buying players from other teams, other leagues. It's it can be very confusing, and I think that's the harder part, is the educating of how you're acquiring your players. And again, the everyday fan is going to be like, well, you idiot, this is how they do it. It's pretty easy.
Right. Yeah, we get
That's
that.
Fine.
We understand it. Yeah.
But if you don't know, you don't know, and there's no handbook for it.
Right.
Yeah, I think it makes it harder to get people to continue to buy into your product if every single year it feels like there are new people, on the team, and maybe some of your favorite players. I remember when I first started doing the opening drive, we had a lot of interviews with a lot of City players. We had AZ Jackson, Sam Adeniran. I think we had, I know we had Tim Parker, Miggy, the kid, he's from Pattonville, Miguel Perez. You had names that you could kind of link to and kind of know, oh, wow, that's pretty cool. That's a cool story. And then you're like, oh, those people aren't here. He was often injured.
Yeah.
So he's not playing. Berkey, and Jamie said this a few times, he's really the mainstay, the name that you know the most, but it's hard to get the casual fan to buy in when if they're good players and they don't stay here because they go elsewhere, and you're like, well, wow, dang, why can't they stay here? Well, they're going elsewhere to play, or maybe they aren't good enough. If they aren't good enough, you probably don't know their name. But the ones that are good, they're leaving, and it's constant turnover. I think it just makes it difficult. It's not like baseball where you know that player's going to be there for this number of years. Football, same thing. Basketball.
Or you've been watching them.
You've been watching them.
You've been watching them in the league as opposed to Bundesliga, and you're not watching that, so you don't know who the player is. You have no connection to him.
So, and I just think it makes it difficult to sustain, eyes, people watching your product that are not likely to watch it if they don't have names that they know over and over and over again.
We got a text from the 314. Yes, City not being good is a variable in losing the casual fans, but a larger variable that my buddies and I have noticed is that the MLS themselves are targeting/catering to a specific group of fans rather than the casual sports fan. It's a bad business model. And
That's interesting. So who would they be targeting then? That would be and I'm curious. That's a fascinating text message.
And we just saw what the NHL did to capture the casual sports fan, bringing in new fans to the game of hockey and showcasing, what the sport has to offer. So, hopefully the 314 text back and kind of explains a little bit more.
Yeah, because I would be interested to know what they mean by they're targeting a certain fan and it's a bad business model.
Maybe it's the diehard fan that already...
That's already locked in. Yeah, and I understand there's a delicate balance there, too, because you don't want to alienate those fans by ignoring them. It's kind of like you've been with a company for a long time. Like, let's just say it's a TV or satellite or cable company, right? And you've been with them, and all they're doing is promoting to get new customers in, and they're offering deals that you don't no longer have.
Or a cell phone.
And or cell phone. And in fact, they're raising your rates. Like, I've been a loyal customer. So I understand that for the MLS or any big-time league, you don't want to alienate the diehards just to get the casual. But you do have to strike that balance, or else you're not going to be growing your league.
Netflix
is a good one.
Damn sure. Oh, we're going up to $16. Really? Every time.
I do think Netflix has some of the best programming, though.
Hey, they do a good job, Anthony. But
did you watch the latest OJ one?
I didn't watch it. I've seen. Is it better than the ones?
I thought
Carey, Marsha Clark was the lead prosecutor.
She certainly was. Chris Darden, really number 3 chair.
Yeah.
Anyways,
he's the one you said made him try on the glove.
Yeah. Backfired big time.
Not a great idea.
Big mistake.
OJ really sold that those gloves didn't work.
Well, they didn't fit because it wasn't his. They weren't his.
His hand, too. It's weird how he tried to put it on his hand when his fingers were spread wide apart.
He also didn't take his arthritis medicine.
No, he didn't.
His agent.
Allegedly.
Yeah.
Here's
not allegedly. His agent flat out said he did not take his arthritis medicine so that his fingers would swell.
Just forgot.
I mean, when you get older, you forget things like that.
Sure, yeah.
Here's another interesting text, and this has baseball involved. From the 618, baseball has been catering to the casuals since Manfred took over, and the product has worsened, but I bet viewership and profits are at an all-time high.
Well, yes and no. Viewership and revenue all-time high for some teams. The league overall, we'll get into those numbers a little bit later on because one major network said, you know what? Your product isn't worth it anymore, and we're not going to pay you. We'll get into that a little bit as ESPN
they keep
is
showing
dropping.
games of another product that ain't worth it either.
Well, maybe they'll drop their ass, too. You never know, Jamie.
Hockey's back, baby.
Hockey's back. Capitalize on the wave.
Yep.
All right, it's the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. Speaking of hockey, will Jordan Binnington ever get the respect that he ultimately deserves? Last night certainly helped, but we'll have the broader conversation next on 101 ESPN.
Nobody can question Jordan Binnington now.
Well, if you're in Canada, man, you weren't really paying attention. I'm sure some of you still question Jordan Binnington. Even after last night, that was from Sportsnet, that audio. Jordan Binnington, absolutely sensational. We had the numbers for you earlier when we were talking about Canada's victory over the U.S. last night. But in case you missed it, Jordan Binnington in Game 7s or championship games like last night, deciding games, Jordan Binnington has been sensational. He's been at his best. So last night, he had 31 of 33 saves. 32 of 33 saves is what he made in the Stanley Cup Game 7 final against Boston. And he made 29 of 30 saves in the second round matchup against Dallas, Game 7. He's 3-0 over that span. Here's Brad Marchand, Binnington's teammate last night, on what Binnington has meant to this Team Canada team.
After the first one he made, I was like, oh, that's the save we needed. We're going to get it. And then it happened again and again and again. And eventually it's like, man, we got to pull it together or it's going to bite us. And but he just continued to do it. And for him to come up that many times in overtime, it speaks a tremendous amount to his character and how prepared he was for this moment. And he took advantage of it. And he is the sole reason we won this game tonight. And then obviously, we leave the best player in the world open in the slot. He's gonna make you pay, but that doesn't happen without Bennett.
That audio courtesy of WEEI.
And that was Brad Marchand, who plays for the Boston Bruins and lost to Jordan Binnington in Game 7. So if there was any...
Cried about it.
In that same building, by the way.
If there was any hatred, he could have just deflected and talked about Connor McDavid.
Sure.
But he says he's the sole reason we won this game tonight.
And every member of Team Canada that's been asked about Binnington, not only last night, but throughout the entire tournament, unwavering support for Binnington. And I don't think they just did it because he's his teammate. They do believe that. But my question is, do you guys think that he'll ever get the credit that he deserves? And what is it about Binnington besides the antics that people are just like, nah, dude sucks. Well, he's overrated.
It's his numbers. Okay? On down years for Binnington, on down teams, his numbers are going to be, I don't want to say skewed, but yeah, skewed in a negative way. And 2 years ago, Binner had, he had unbelievable saves, but he gave up a lot of goals because they weren't covering that backdoor play. Remember how many tap-ins there were?
At least 600.
Yeah, pretty close, probably pretty close. So that affects the numbers. So the morons who don't watch hockey, look at the numbers. This is why the numbers, you can use them a little bit, but then go to the good numbers. Go to the saves above expected. So, or where there's supposed to be a goal, but it isn't because Jordan Binnington is there. He had 2 of those last night, by the way. They only gave him credit for 2. I would have said there's 3, but. So the common moron who doesn't know hockey just looks at the numbers and they go, and then look at the Blues record and his wins-loss. Like, this guy's, I don't know what's so special about this guy. Mm. But when you dive into it and you look, and then if you just pay attention, the best players in the world and the best coaches in the world were telling you, this guy's elite. Mm-hmm. Nathan McKinnon, not a big fan of Jordan Binnington, said that he's the reason we won tonight. And then Connor McDavid said the same thing. Jordan Binnington dialed in. He might be the best big game goalie in the league. That's what they're saying about Jordan Binnington. Mm-hmm. So if he doesn't get his flowers now from national media, which he is today, I mean, it is a fawning today. Oh, he's so good. Jordan Binnington, will you be my friend? Tell him to go chase yourself. Mm-hmm. So I think he's finally starting to get the recognition. And I do believe that because of last night and last night alone, because people are morons, they don't watch all the time, people will be campaigning for him to be one of the goalies for the Canadian Olympic team next year. Because all they'll remember is the championship game. Be like, oh, that guy rocks, man. Remember how drunk we got? It's because that guy, he was awesome. He should be our goalie. And that's a shame because people with the access to games and access to video that you have throughout the internet, you should be able to watch games and be a little more up on things. But hey, it is what it is. You play in St. Louis, you're not in Toronto or New York,
right,
or Montreal for that matter. And so you're going to have to impress more people on a more regular basis. And I think last night was the biggest stage for the hockey world so far this year. And Jordan Binnington stole the show.
How do you get that version of him on a nightly basis?
You
like
can't,
the locked-in version where, and I know it's probably asking too much to do it, 55, 60 times a year?
On a team that struggles defensively? Yeah, it's a lot.
Well, that's the other part I was going to ask. Is it solely the people in front of him as well? Like, they have to be better? I mean, life is a lot better when you got a bunch of all-stars on your team, I'm sure. Makes life a lot easier. But he made some great saves and made some great plays that I don't think it mattered who was in front of him. He did an outstanding job. Do you think that can catapult him into having the confidence to not just be labeled as a big game goalie, but a big time goalie no matter the game?
Yeah. So if you look at the top goalies, the Vezina Trophy winners, right? Look at the teams they play on. Like, look at Vasilevsky. The Tampa Bay Lightning have been relevant for a decade now, like to where maybe even anyway. I'll say a decade.
Yeah,
they've been good, and they've been great in that cycle. They've won 3 cups, so just or 2 cups, 3 total, because Marty St. Louis won one way back to before they went to their little rebuild. But he's been the guy that's in the conversation. A great team around him. Connor Hellebuyck. Winnipeg has had a couple of down years, and when they've had down years, so are his stats. They have a really good team this year, and Connor Hellebuyck, people are like, he's the Vezina for the best goalie in the league. It is what it is. Joe Burrow put up MVP-type numbers, but it's not often a quarterback who gets hit so many times puts up good numbers, right? You'd be like, why is he not more consistent? Well, because he's on his ass the whole game, right? So same with a goalie.
Get him another receiver.
But with a goalie, why is he not better? Well, because the other team gets 40 shots a night and 20 of them are from inside 10 feet of the goal.
Get him another forward that doesn't play defense.
Yeah. So I just think that I think Jordan Binnington, he's just going to be known as a big game goalie, and that's okay.
But you got to get to those big games.
No, that's right. But this is the biggest question. Who's going to come knocking now on the door for Doug Armstrong?
That's what we're getting a lot of texts saying that, like, right now is probably the highest his trade value is or will be.
It might be the highest ever following the Stanley Cup. I mean, that was probably the highest. If you wanted to trade Jordan Binnington there, you'd have got a king's ransom. But you look at right now, that was the biggest game in the hockey world. All eyes on Jordan Binnington and Team Canada. Doug Armstrong there in the building, all the other GMs, part of his crew and all that stuff.
Right.
And then here's the kicker. Who do the GMs really talk to when they think about a player? They go to their star players. What do you think of this guy? All the star players were playing with him. All the star players are saying that they won the damn game because of Jordan Binnington. Right. So if you think, like, let's just use the Colorado Avalanche. They've got 2 goalies, whatever. But if they wanted to take Mackenzie Blackwood and say, hey, Doug, we'll give you Mackenzie Blackwood and player X, like a good player, for Jordan Binnington. Army might think about it because Mackenzie Blackwood's he's a number 1 goalie in Colorado. He's not Jordan Binnington.
Right.
But he can match up well with Joel Hofer, and then your progression for Joel Hofer makes sense, right? That's what I'm talking about. Is the big studs around the league were playing for Team Canada. They're going to go back and talk to their GMs and say, we need to get this guy. So the biggest question is, what is enough for Doug Armstrong to make that move, and does it make sense?
Yeah. And the big wrinkle to this, too, is that he was the better goalie against the best goalie in the NHL right now. It's not like the United States had somebody else in net and their team in front of them was the reason why they were there. Like, they had the best goalie in the regular season, Connor Hellebuyck, right now, who is also known for his playoff games and his performance. Not the same as Jordan Binnington, right? It's a little bit different. And I thought Hellebuyck was fine last night, but
he was not the reason they lost.
He wasn't the reason they lost. But
Fox was.
He's not good.
It was well, I thought Jack Hughes wasn't that good either. But
did he play?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Anyways, but
Jamie, top rope.
Mark Messier said yesterday during the ESPN coverage that if you're going to win a game like this, you have to have a goaltender that makes the big stops at the big moment. And Jordan Binnington has proven time and time again in big games that he's the guy to do that.
Yep.
Well, Mark Messier would know because he had one of the greatest ever to do it in Grant Fuhr. Grant Fuhr, you look at his numbers, you're like, oh, that guy's a Hall of Famer. But then you look at his numbers in big games, series-deciding games, Stanley Cup playoff games. He was money.
Yeah.
And this is kind of the aura today that is surrounding Jordan Binnington, in particular in Canada, where there's a lot of eyes that were watching that game across the country and across the world, really. So it's going to be interesting to see what's the breaking point for Doug Armstrong. If someone does come calling, wanting to trade for Jordan Binnington, at what point does Army say, no, we're just not, he's part of this retool? Or, what we get for Jordan Binnington might help this along really fast. Mm-hmm. It's going to be interesting because now Jordan Binnington, people are aware of who he is.
That's I almost called you Jordan Binnington. That's
I
Jamie.
take it right now.
That's Jamie Rivers.
That makes a lot of money.
Carey Davis, Andrew Marsh.
He is a Canadian.
Yeah.
He is, yeah. I'm Anthony Stalter. It's the Fast Line on 101 ESPN. How far can a fully healthy season out of Willson Contreras take the Cardinals? That's next on 101 ESPN.
Hey, it's Carey Davis. And fellas, if you could use extra benefit in the bedroom, we all could. Blue Chew can help. By now, you probably know that Blue Chew is an online service that delivers the same active ingredients as Viagra and Cialis in a chewable form at a fraction of the cost. So what are you waiting for? Try it today. Blue Chew is an online prescription service, so there are no visits to the doctor's office, no awkward conversations, no waiting in line at the pharmacy, and it ships directly to your door in a discreet package. And Blue Chew's tablets are made right here in the USA. They prepare and ship direct, so it is cheaper than a pharmacy. And if you're ready for a great offer, how about free? Go to BlueChew.com, consult with a licensed medical provider, get your first month free, and then you'll be ready to chew it and do it. Your partner wants you to do whatever it takes to make your sex life better, and Blue Chew is your secret weapon in the bedroom or wherever you decide to get it on. Pro athletes, every day we train to perform better on the field, but what if you can improve your performance in the bedroom and no training required? That's right. I'm talking about Blue Chew. Turn oh no into oh yes, Jamie. Oh yes, BlueChew.com.
It's Fastlane on 101 ESPN with Carey Davis and Jamie Rivers. I'm Anthony Stalter. Can the Cardinals compete with a fully healthy Willson Contreras? So they get a full season out of Willson Contreras. We know what he brings to the table offensively. We'll see what he brings to the table defensively. But how far can the Cardinals go after winning 83 games last year with a fully healthy Willson Contreras, guys? Your thoughts?
Just Willson?
Discuss amongst yourself.
So, Carey.
Yeah.
Cardinals had 83 wins. We know that because they told us several times.
Yeah, they did.
Any difference?
I ain't saying that. I mean, he'll play more games. Now, I will. Willson, I think, Marshy, you said this yesterday. He said he wants to play all 162, right?
He did say he
play
wanted
the entire season.
Yeah.
He wants to be the Iron Man of the St. Louis Cardinals.
Mm-hmm.
Huh? I'm all for it. If his bat is in the lineup every single day, I think you got a chance. You know? I think you got a chance to be a really good baseball team. And I, for one, will tell you all that the St. Louis Cardinals will indeed win more than 83 games if Willson Contreras can play 140 games at minimum. You know how many times he got hurt last year? You got hit with a bat. You've been hit by pucks. You ain't never been hit by a bat as far as I know. Okay, well, did you break your forearm?
No, I broke my head.
No, that's not great.
In my head still.
That's not great.
My brother hit me in the head with the bat.
That happens from time to time with brothers. But yeah, one of mine. True. Yeah, it happens.
I didn't tell on him, though.
Good. Wow.
That's the important.
I probably should have because he probably needs medical help. But anyways.
But yeah, so Willson playing first base.
Brain bleed.
You got Ivan Herrera playing catcher, batting over 300. You love it, Anthony. You love both of the catchers in the lineup at once. Now one is a first baseman.
All three of them.
Well, not so fast, my friend, as Lee Corso says. That's a little bit too much. I don't know where the other one's going to play. Too much.
Well, you got a DH, you got a catcher, and you got a catcher at first base.
Why not? Don't worry about that. In one game, there will be, I'm sure. You'll get all three. You'll get your wish. All right? But if this team, if Willson Contreras, the man that they tried to run out of town in his first year, they ran over him with a bus, Anthony. You know that? They talked about him so bad, they backed it up. One pitcher said, you don't even know the art of pitching, neither does my catcher. He's no longer here.
The pitchers took turns driving the bus.
Your turn, my turn. And Willson didn't say a damn word. The next year, broke his damn forearm, got hit by a bat because they wanted him to scoot up closer to the plate because they couldn't get the pitches where they needed to go. So we need you to frame it a little bit better. Get a little closer. Oh, no, my arm is broken. Oh, what the hell? So now I get to go play first base and stay safe. And the only thing I got to worry about is somebody stepping on my damn ankle or my foot. I'll make sure I get that taken care of as well.
Probably so one of his own players.
Would be running right over to him. You know? Who knows? This is Wilson's trajectory since he's been here. This is his plight as a Cardinal.
Yeah.
But if he's healthy, Anthony, they will indeed win more than 83 games. You mark it down. Write it down today, 3/22, February 21st.
Write that down, please.
Write it down. Keep it somewhere safe, okay? All right.
Okay.
All right, Marshall, you in? Now, it might be 84 games, but it'll be more than 83.
84 is higher than 83.
I'm just wondering if, Mo's plan dating back to when Willson Contreras was signed here was
to screw him over.
No, could have been.
Because, was it seen through because of Willson Contreras' injuries? How many more wins would you have in the past couple of years? Probably not 2023.
Marshy, they didn't even want to play him.
Well, I understand. I'm saying if he's in the lineup and he's hitting, what does that look like?
But Marshy, when he first got here, they didn't even want to play him.
I understand that, but I'm saying if he...
But you're saying if his bat was capable of being in the lineup, and they didn't play him because the pitcher said he's not a good catcher.
Well, what did they know, Anthony?
Not much. Look at the guys who were saying it.
Anthony.
So I understand what you're saying. If he would have said, okay, we had some problems here at catcher, maybe move him to DH, but you had a logjam at DH that first year he was here. He DH'd a little bit, but then you took him out of your lineup completely because you didn't believe in him.
That only lasted a week.
That's probably
they wanted
6 games.
To move him to
that lasted a week
outfield.
Until they went to Chicago, and then he started having a resurgence. That's sort of
Albert Pujols was the problem, though.
What?
Oh no, that was the year before.
Yeah, doing 22.
That's okay, guys.
It's okay. You tell us it's okay.
It's all right. You get past Canada won last night.
Go Canada, go.
But he's been injured quite often.
Yeah,
for the Cardinals, and so
I think that. Sometimes we get these text messages in where it's like, hey, guys, they did win 83 games last year. What's different? Well, a lot. All the variables change from year to year. it's not just the variables within the Cardinals, it's the variables within the division and the league. Everything changes. So I don't think we could just look back and say, well, a fully healthy Willson Contreras is going to mean more wins this year. Will it mean more offense? Yeah, probably, because he's a really good hitter. But all the variables change. The Reds added Terry Francona. The Brewers always have some magic up their sleeves. The Cubs theoretically are better on paper. Like, all of these variables have changed, so we can't just take what we saw last year. But what we can fall back on are tried and true ways to win in baseball. Forget like the cost and the salary and the budget and all that. Let's just the payrolls. Let's throw that to the side. Just what wins in baseball. Well, we know in the regular season you better have some offense. It's not just pitching in the regular season. It's offense. When you get to the postseason, it does become more about pitching, defense, and timely hitting. Those crucial hitting. So, will the Cardinals have more offense this year with a fully healthy Willson Contreras? I'm willing to say yes. Will they be a better overall team? We can't answer that with any sort of definitive nature.
Maybe your runs and scoring position numbers go up.
Maybe.
Perhaps.
Gotta get on base,
that was a huge reason why this team was not good.
As long as it works out to where he's at
One of the main reasons.
Yes. It was a huge issue last year. It was a huge problem. All right.
It's been a problem.
It's been a while.
The Cardinals have made it to the playoffs.
It's fascinating. 101 to ESPN. Journey?
Yeah.
No.
Stain.
There you go.
I'd get to it eventually.
Journey?
Yeah, he went Journey.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, he jumped. He went like a...
Is that a different genre?
That's a different era.
A different era.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like 70s?
They're 80s. I would say Journey
What is Creed?
80s.
90s?
Creed is 90s.
Creed is 90s.
Stain is 90s.
Late 90s.
They're
Decade.
90s, yeah.
It's a decade.
They were like on the Vans Warp Tour.
Yeah. All right. It's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. We do have a hot take or hot garbage. If you want to send in a hot take or hot garbage statement, you can do so via the Air Comfort Service text line 314-399-9646. We'll play hot take or hot garbage next. With over 700 new and used vehicles all in one location, you're going to love what they have at Auto Centers Nissan Herculaneum, especially during their Love at First Drive sales event that's going on throughout the month of February. So what the Love at First Drive sales event is, it's heavily discounted prices on every vehicle in stock at Auto Centers Nissan Herculaneum. We're talking about new Nissans discounted up to $10,000 off, with sales prices starting under $23,000 on select models. They also have the 2025 Nissan models coming with a free lifetime warranty and 3 free oil changes, plus get peace of mind with their 30-day return promise. Within 30 days, if you're not completely in love with the vehicle, bring it back. They'll refund your money, set you up with something else. They've got great financing, too. 0 down, no payments for 3 months on select used vehicles, or no payments for 6 months on select new Nissans right now. Plus, get great low financing rates with terms of up to 84 months. It's all available at Auto Centers Nissan Herculaneum. If you got credit issues, if you're in a current loan, don't worry about it. They're confident at Auto Centers Nissan that anyone that walks through the doors can drive away with a brand new Nissan. Check them out online at autocentersnissan.com, or when you head down to Herculaneum, tell them Stalter sent you. It's Auto Centers Nissan.
101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling. Jordan Binnington stopped 31 of 33 last night against Team USA in the Four Nations Face-Off Championship game, including a couple awesome saves in overtime to secure the victory for Canada. 3-2 the final. Connor McDavid with the game winner in overtime, assisted by Mitch Marner. We talked about that earlier in the show. If you missed that conversation or anything from today's show, make sure you go to 101ESPN.com or check out the free Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers 101 ESPN mobile app. Just head to the podcast page and you'll find all of our full shows there. And it's all brought to you by the Schaefer Door Company. Coming up next, we have Hot Take or Hot Garbage. So if you have a hot take you want to send our way, do so using the Air Comfort Service text line 314-399-9646. Hot Take or Hot Garbage coming up next. I'm Andrew Marsh, and the Sports Center update is brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling, an independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
Hot Take. Time for Hot Take or Hot Garbage here in the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN with Carey Davis and Jamie Rivers and Anthony Stalter. You have a Hot Take or Hot Garbage statement. 314-399-9646 is the Air Comfort Service text line. Go ahead, Marsh.
Hot Take or Hot Garbage from the 314. Colton Parayko is the only untouchable on the Blues' current roster.
Ooh, that's spicy.
Hot garbage.
The only untouchable. Let me think really quick. Really? Yeah.
Yeah, I would say so too.
I think he's the only untouchable. Who else, Carey?
You don't think Broberg is untouchable?
Depends on what you're getting back.
Yeah, depends on what you're getting back.
Really?
I mean, honestly, at the right price.
Shame on all
I
three
veer
of
off the.
you.
That's business, though, right?
Shame on us.
Shame.
Hey, Carey.
Shame.
That's a quick question for you here. You ever heard of a player called Wayne Gretzky?
I have, Jamie.
Yeah. He got traded a couple times, too.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
You know?
All right.
You ever heard of a guy named Peyton Manning?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He almost broke his neck, though.
Yeah.
He had to let him go.
You ever heard of a guy named Tom Brady?
I have,
Patriots
Jamie.
let him go.
Really?
I don't know. That's what I heard.
I ain't heard of that guy. What has he ever done?
Not much.
I didn't think so. I'd have heard him. Jamie, if he'd have done anything, I'd have heard of him.
Yeah.
Tom Brady with a THOM. Different guy.
Thom
Brady.
Thom Brady.
I think Colton Parayko is the rarest player that you have on your team right now. Philip Broberg could be that guy in a couple of years, but he's not right now. So let's say let's say the Maple Leafs said to you, we'll give you Mitch Marner.
Oh, well.
Or
okay.
like for Philip Broberg, because they need some good young defensemen. Marner's contract is ending. So, maybe you get Marner and a draft pick for Philip Broberg.
Philip, I tried to keep you here, brother.
And that's just an example. It could be, but because they've got Lindstein coming up, another great young defenseman, you look at it and go, okay, maybe we can fill the void. Now, it's not my first choice. I'm not offering you Broberg in that trade. But if someone comes calling, asking me for Colton Parayko.
What if it's Mitch Marner for Colton Parayko?
No.
Okay.
Colton Parayko is more rare.
All right.
To find a guy 6'6" that skates like that and now has added beating the piss out of people to his repertoire.
I loved it.
Like, that's a rare find.
Yeah.
It's just like if someone would have come looking for Alex Pietrangelo. The answer is no. And now you let him walk, so you have to learn from that a little bit and say, I've got the next version, not the same player, but a version. I got to hang on to this guy. Anybody else, though? I'm open for discussion if the price is correct.
All right. Let me give you one more. Oh. Brady Tkachuk for Colton Parayko.
Okay, but then you're counterproductive at that point. Because you're bringing Brady, yes, but then you're losing your number one defenseman. So now you got to go looking. But
it's harder to find a number one defenseman than it is to find
I don't know.
like a version of Brady Tkachuk.
Huh?
Right?
Yeah, I mean, I would have to I'd have to say, listen, I'll call you back in the morning.
You have to sleep on it?
Yeah, I'd have to think in my head because you look at the Blues right now and on defense, you can't replace Colton Parayko. You don't have anybody to replace him.
Okay.
But can you fill the void with another player?
Right.
Whereas Brady Tkachuk, he's a unicorn. We've talked about this. You don't have, nobody has that. The closest version of Brady Tkachuk is Tom Wilson in Washington, and maybe his own brother Matthew in Florida. That's the closest version that I can think of, Marshy, that can hit, fight, score goals.
What about JT Miller?
No.
We saw that dance.
I saw that dance.
Frick already ate him up and spit him out.
Yeah.
He was begging for forgiveness by the end of that fight.
I'm so sorry, Colton.
That's all right, Joe. My gloves. Pick him up quick. Yeah, you've presented me with the ultimate brain twist with that one.
Thank you.
Yeah.
This next one's interesting from the 636. A little bit longer, so bear with me.
You do that to people sometimes, Carey.
What's that?
Give people kind of twisted with your questions.
I do.
Go ahead, Marshy. I apologize.
I'm just going to power through this. From the 636, hot take or hot garbage, officials in all sports have gained an unrealistic arrogance in being offended by being proven wrong if they make a call. And technology provides a better angle and could overturn that call. And that is why there is such a hesitance to use everything at our disposal to make sure the calls are made correctly every time.
I don't think it is the arrogance or the perceived arrogance of officials or referees why we don't see more technology being used in the sports. I think these leagues are worried about disturbing the flow of the game. That is why. Now you may think, well, it could be quicker. Could they do a much better job of eliminating the challenges and just doing something real quick? Yeah. And maybe at some point we'll get to that point. But I think that is the reason. The leagues are concerned with the stoppage of play constantly to make sure we're getting the right calls because of the use of technology, not the arrogance of officials and things like that. I think they're doing the best they can.
I think that they should implement a new rule for all sports, for that matter, is if a team challenges a call, right, whatever it is, offside or goalie interference, as soon as the referee goes over to the box, they put a counter up. 2 minutes. You get 2 minutes to go through this. And at the end of 2 minutes, if you can't figure out what the hell just happened, the original call stays.
I would also like to see, and the UFL did this when they were sort of going through the replay room, describing why the referees and the officials are, that team is making a call. Could you imagine if we're watching a hockey game and they're reviewing a goal, whether or not there's goalie interference or what? Like, what does the process look like? I would love to see why the referees got to where they got.
Now that's from a production standpoint you're talking about. So like the broadcast,
but that's part of the entertainment value.
It is. I agree. I'm talking about keeping the game moving.
Oh, that's fair. Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like, because when you
can do both.
You
don't even need 2 minutes. I don't think
you can make it a minute. I don't care. Yeah. I can tell you this. I get to see replays almost instantly.
And
I can see right away. Yeah. And I don't even have all the angles. Yeah. Like FanDuel, we don't have all the angles that the league has. And they've got that board of TVs that they have with all the angles. It should take 30 seconds at most. And if you can't figure it out within a minute or 2 minutes, whatever your time, then the original call on the ice stands, because if it's that freaking close, that means somebody's not very wrong. You know what I mean? Yeah. I think it would speed things up.
Yeah.
Hot take or hot garbage from the 618. Clayton Keller should have been on the U.S. hockey team roster.
Yes, he should have. Much better than a number of players that were there. Brock Nelson being one of them. That guy was just baggage out there. You can see the same for Trocheck. What the hell did he do throughout that whole thing? The number of players on the U.S. team that I believe could have been left off the roster for Clayton Keller. Now, what the U.S. team was trying to do, and in the first game were successful, is putting a very heavy lineup out there. JT Miller, Trocheck's a bigger guy, Larkin's a bigger guy. Like, never mind the Kachucks, we know how they play. Eichel's a big dude. Matthews is a big dude. Like, you had some, Kreider's a big guy. Like, they were looking for a big, heavy team, and I think that's why Clayton Keller got left off of it, because they figured in their own heads, they said, we already have Jack Hughes. We have a version of Clayton Keller in the lineup. But I think Clayton Keller is every bit as good as Jack Hughes, and I think he would have showed up better than Jack Hughes in this tournament.
He just, his size, like in the corners, board battles, like he was losing every single battle.
It's tough, man. When you get out there best on best, because Jack Hughes has the advantage of playing against some of the best players on a nightly basis. When you get out there best on best, it's not just skill. It's defending properly, stick on puck properly, body position, strength, physicality. All of that is reasons why these guys are the best players.
Like, me and my buddies were joking, like, does he need Jesper Bratt on his line? What's going on here?
He's not American, though.
Well, I know. It was part of the joke.
It's against the rules, Andrew.
I got a hot take, or hot garbage for you guys. Wow. The New York teams are the reason why Team USA did not win.
Oh, all their players played terrible. Rangers and Islanders played? Yeah, I agree.
All right. Hot take.
And I also firmly believe that Matthew Tkachuk being injured for half of the final game hurt.
Did not help. But it was going to be tough to overcome the Rangers, Islanders, and let's just throw in the Devils, too.
Yeah, the Devils, too, yeah.
Pure hot garbage from those teams.
I don't disagree.
For Team USA last night.
I mean, well, the Rangers, Chris Kreider did all he could. He only played 1.5 games. They stopped playing him halfway through the game last night, too. I don't know if he's injured or something. But he scored 30 seconds in the only game he played.
Yeah.
But, he wasn't really given an opportunity.
Well, and how about Kyle Connor not playing?
Weird decision.
Now, he only had one shot throughout that tournament. But still, I feel like he's dynamic enough that one more shot could ultimately been the difference.
Listen, I do believe that Team USA got outcoached in this whole thing.
And we will get into that.
Yeah.
Save it.
Don't tell me what to do.
101 ESPN has your shot to score a pair of single-session tickets for the 2025 State Farm Missouri Valley Conference Men's Basketball Tournament. The NBC Tournament is hitting the court March 6th through the 9th at Enterprise Center, and all season and single-session tickets for Arch Madness are now on sale. Text in to win at 314-399-9646 or register to win now at 101ESPN.com or on your 101 ESPN mobile app. Here is your trivia question today. One of us has already donned the Cardinal red glasses in this show. Which Fastlane member put on the red Cardinal glasses in this show? Again, text in 314-399-9646. If you're the 101st texter with the correct answer, you will go check out that Missouri Valley Conference tournament. Is it a bad look for Major League Baseball that ESPN has opted out of its deal with Major League Baseball after this season? That's next on 101 ESPN.
First of all, do me a favor. Tell the baseball community to shut the hell up. Let me
Why
tell you
would we do that? Why would we do that? I have.
Whoa! Whoa! Be quiet. You're gonna call up. You're gonna ask me a question. Let me answer.
Blasphemous.
I know baseball, the sport. What happens is because I'm so busy with other sports watching it, I don't get to watch as much baseball. But the reason why we don't watch as much baseball, Fuzzy, if you did your homework, is because people don't care ratings-wise.
So that was Stephen A. Smith on his own television show on ESPN in 2023. So that was a couple of years ago. Caller, Fuzzy, called in, and that was Stephen A.'s response. This goes hand in hand with what, not hand in hand, but it kind of applies to what we're seeing now following last night's news that ESPN and Major League Baseball decided to opt out of their current deal. That was yesterday morning. ESPN informed Major League Baseball it was opting out of the final 3 years of its $550 million per season contract with baseball after the year. ESPN, of course, broadcast ESPN Sunday Night Baseball, as well as the first round of the MLB playoffs, as well, of course, as the All-Star Game and the Home Run Derby. So ESPN says, you know what? Not worth it anymore. I don't know if you guys saw Baseball Commissioner Rob Manfred's responses.
Oh, I'm sure it was fantastic.
He sounded
Guy's
to
a
me.
man of many words.
He sounded to me as if you were in high school and he just got broken up with. Now I break up with you.
Yeah.
I did that.
So before you dive into it, when I read certain things, it was worded as if baseball had dropped ESPN.
Yes.
Because they don't like their coverage.
Exactly.
So, to preface what you're about to say.
Yes. So what Rob Manfred said was that ESPN has kind of dropped the ball here because they don't talk about baseball or enough baseball on its other platforms. So there's shows, radio shows, TV shows, shows like Get Up, things like that. First Take, whatever.
Yeah, they really don't talk baseball.
He's right, but then Manfred also dives into how ESPN Sunday Night Baseball was up 6% from a year ago, and like you said, Jamie's like, yeah, you know what? We've got other suitors.
Do you?
I will be shocked. He says they got 2. I will be shocked if you get anyone to pony up $550 million per year for ESPN Sunday Night Baseball, first round of the playoffs, which often do not go to 3 games, by the way. It's a best of 3 format. A lot of times it's really only 2 games. And the Home Run Derby. Good luck, Rob. If it were worth $550 million, ESPN would still be paying for it.
Yeah, I don't get who else would be ponying up the money.
I don't either.
Like
Apple TV?
It's not going to be close.
Apple TV already has a sweetheart deal with Major League Baseball.
Yeah, they do.
They're paying next to nothing in retrospect or in comparison
and that
to
can't
ESPN.
be the pivot.
Same thing with Roku, because Roku's got like this early Sunday morning package, right? They're paying like $10 million. So if you're at ESPN, you go Fastlane yourself.
Yeah, but the pivot for baseball can't be Apple TV. It has to be something way more mainstream.
Like, on a network.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it can't
Fox
be TBS.
Netflix.
I was
already
thinking,
have
do
their
you think TNT dives
Well,
into
they have
that?
TBS already. They have baseball for TBS.
Not for that amount of money.
Yeah.
Mike says, wait, isn't Joe Buck going to broadcast game? It's after this year.
Yeah.
So this year, it's still in place. You're still going to be able to find ESPN Sunday Night Baseball, but after this year, they opted out.
Could like KSDK? Oh, that's local, but like Channel 5, like could Peacock get it?
So like ABC
ABC is
ABC won't do it because they own ESPN. So I don't think so. I don't think anybody's willing. Now you're asking, will anybody take it on? Sure, but ESPN has already told you we're not going to pay that much money for it.
Their next deal won't look like that.
Exactly.
That's a lot of money.
They might have to actually spread it out over a couple of networks to try and get like $150 million here, $200 million here, and like it's crazy.
Versus an OLN.
You would want it to be, like you said, on a national TV, a channel that you don't have to pay a subscription for. Like you can get it with regular cable.
Yeah.
I think this is baseball's fault too, though. We talk all the time about how they don't market their stars, how there are so many missed opportunities in terms of knowing these players and really branding, getting a better brand of what they do and how they do it. I know they've tried multiple things in the past few years, eliminating the shift. Maybe that'll create more hits, making the bases bigger, allowing hopefully for more steals. You can't throw over a number of times. But the game is, and the pitch clock, they've tried a number of things, but the game is still the game. Like, it's still not a fun thing to watch when you're either striking out with runners in scoring position or you're hitting a home run. Like, that's
you're talking about the Cardinals.
Well, that's all teams, though. That's all of them. And then you got pitchers that only pitch 5 innings. All right, you get out of here. Analytics say, like, you don't have anybody that's going to throw a complete game unless it's a no-hitter. Like, you're not going to be able to pitch 115 pitches, 125 pitches to finish this game and work through some tough time. No. We're going to go to the bullpen. We're going to get 6 relievers up in this next 3 innings, and we're going to close this game out the right way. That's boring as hell. And if you're not a true baseball fan, you're not going to turn on a game, watch the manager come out, bring a new pitcher in. You're like, I don't find something else to watch while they warm up these 8 pitches that they got to warm up. Well, I'm not watching that. If you're not really a true baseball fan. So I think baseball has lost its way, and that's what ESPN is saying. Why would I pay $550 million when people don't watch this sport? If it was NFL, do you think that what else?
They pay triple.
Exactly. Because it's exciting. But
they probably
baseball,
do pay triple.
But then what's the excuse for basketball right now?
Basketball is dying because of...
Yeah, but ESPN's paying basketball over $600 million.
And let's see how long they do that.
Yeah, I wonder if at some point, I wonder if they also bail. To your point, Jamie, to your point.
I think he was
which
just
I think is well made.
He should just...
Don't do that.
No, he's just doing that.
No, I don't want you fisting him, and I don't want you fisting his finger
I'll do the politic thing.
Yes.
Put our swords up in the middle like we're the...
We're not playing swords right now, Marsh.
I'm not playing swords.
This is not the time or the place.
Are you really trying to get us to play swords right now with you?
Come on, we're all team.
I know it's Friday.
We're all team. We just scored a goal. Our sticks are in the air, right?
Now our sticks are in the air. I don't want my stick in the air either.
Well,
could this be like
a... Here.
No. You're wearing track pants, too.
Could this be like a phone goes both ways type situation where it's like maybe people aren't tuning in to Sunday Night Baseball because they don't like the personalities that are covering the game?
Well, I
like,
dare you talk about Adam Wainwright like that.
Well, he's on Fox, I thought.
But like, I didn't know you were talking about only ESPN.
We no longer have John Miller here with Joe Morgan, like Sunday Night Baseball on ESPN.
Yeah,
like we get Carl Ravitch and like he's fine, but like it's just not the same. It's not. Like I don't like the broadcast. I don't.
So do you think the broadcast is what makes the game?
It doesn't make the game
make the entire what people want to see.
I think there's a lot of factors into it. I think what I'm saying is probably lower on the totem pole.
But it's a factor for you.
But I think it's a factor, and like if you're tuning in and you're having people who you don't really care for discussing baseball, and that's just my opinion. Other people might like those people. Like, I'm not going to tune in. Like, even with, like, the NBA, sometimes they have people on there. I'm like, what are you, what? Why are you on here?
Speaking of tuning in.
Yeah.
If I may just interject for a second. We have some numbers regarding ESPN. 9.3 million viewers for Canada USA last night on ESPN.
That's good.
Highest ranked game in the NHL ever on ESPN.
Wow.
So 9.3.
Kick rocks baseball.
9.3
million, yeah.
The Dodgers and Yankees World Series last year was like 6.8. Here's the other problem.
That's the Kachuk factor.
Yeah.
I'm not joking.
Here's the other thing. If you look at over the last 10 years, the World Series ratings, because we often hear like, well, it's about the bigger markets. Are we sure about that? Because Yankees, Dodgers, historic franchises, massive markets. They drew last year, like I said, 6.9 was the official. Over the last 10 years, anybody care to venture what the highest rated World Series?
That might be it.
Last year
was 6.9.
With the Dodgers and Yankees.
Last 10 years, it got to be the Cubs.
Years.
Would it be the Cubs?
Cubs, Indians, the highest at 12.9.
You got people tuning in for that never saw something in their entire
think
lifetime.
About Dodgers, Yankees, man. Both your teams.
Both of them.
Both of your teams played last year.
In a clash. Titans.
Cubs, Indians. Nearly doubled that.
That's wild.
The Giants and Royals.
Oh, that got to be like
8.9.
Giants and Royals?
Giants and Royals, 8.9. Astros, Dodgers, 10.6. Royals, Mets, 8.6. It has. My point is, it has steadily declined. So
but is
when
that
Rob
the game
Manfred
of baseball,
said,
or just because people have so many more options to watch?
Either way, right? Either way.
Yeah.
Either way, baseball has had a problem here. Diamondbacks, Rangers, 4.7.
Yeah, maybe that's why baseball doesn't care that all these big market teams are spending, because they have a better chance to get in the World Series, which means their numbers and ratings will go up. Maybe they don't care.
But comparatively speaking, your Yankees, Dodgers can't come close to Giants, Royals? Like that, you have a problem.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well,
you have
it's
a problem.
I think baseball has changed. Yeah, it has. Baseball has changed. But I think it has changed because of you're either hitting home runs or you're striking out. Mm-hmm. Like baseball, I grew up in the 80s, man. I watched guys run the bases. There was athleticism involved in the game. Jim Edmonds is one of my favorite players because he tracks down balls in the gaps that most humans can't catch. Like when you are an athlete, when you can make spectacular plays, that's what people want to see. They don't want to see you going station to station. They don't want to see you striking out with runners in scoring position and going to sit your butt down and ending the inning. Like that's boring as hell. And so if your philosophy is baseball's bigger problem, in my opinion, is that I'm going to I can't fault the players, because if you're going to pay me $700 million, you damn right I'm going to swing for the fences. What the hell do I care about hitting a single
Go bunt
to
yourself.
the right side? Yeah. Hell with you. Yeah. Why do I care about hitting? He said bunt, not buck.
No, he said go buck yourself.
He said
buck. Bunt.
Oh,
go bunt. Go bunt.
Hearing's
yourself.
off today for me.
I'm sorry, It's not fun. Like you don't have the athleticism of guys doing what they do. Like sports is about, for me, and this is another reason why basketball is starting to change.
3 points.
Because it's something that I can do. You know what I couldn't do? I couldn't damn jump out the gym like Jordan or LeBron. Like the athleticism is what brings fans to watch. They want to see people do things that they cannot do.
I agree with that.
They don't want to see, like Wayne Gretzky, they want to see people that have speed do things that they have never dreamed of being able to do. But if you're doing the same thing that I can do from my couch, oh, hell, what the hell? This is dumb. They're not even athletes. They're just whatever. So it's about the athleticism that draws eyeballs, that makes people say, wow, in my entire life, I would never be able to do that. But if I'm sitting here watching a guy strike out, hell, I could go up there and do that. What the hell good is that? Mm-hmm. And it's boring to watch.
I still think like SportsCenter and them, I think they've dropped the ball on baseball. Like you go back to when I was younger, I could turn on SportsCenter and there's highlights of baseball games and a countdown, rundown, all this stuff.
Yeah,
so like I'm able to see like what was happening in the previous day, and now those storylines are being created, and now I want to tune in a little bit more. Whereas now they have all these opinionated talk shows that some people they care about it, but they're talking about the same damn stuff.
That's right. First Take, Get Up, they cover literally almost the same material, and I'm up for debate. I don't mind it. Opinions, debates, all that. But when you have 3 shows in a row that are just nothing but arguing, it feels like, I do turn it off sometimes, because Stephen A., as good as he is and as good as some of the other people are, it just gets to be a little much.
Mm-hmm. And the baseball coverage that's good is MLB Network. But how many people, depending on their cable provider, have MLB Network? I have YouTube TV. I don't have MLB Network.
You don't have to listen to MLB Network if Greg's on.
Oh,
I do
think
That's true because it's your ideas.
You know what I mean, Marsh?
Oh, wow. I do like it's
Don't
TNT
allow
or
me.
TBS where they have Pedro and when they have Alex Rodriguez and when they have
TBS.
Frank TBS.
It's
Like
TBS.
I enjoy that.
Yeah.
Like I love seeing Big Papi. Like I think that's engaging because again you're seeing athletes speak in a way that you can't fathom doing some of those things. I think that's what a casual fan wants to see. They want to learn about the game from people that did it at a high level, and they want to be entertained by athleticism, things that they could never do. And I think that's what, if you want to bring baseball back or if you want to bring basketball back, you have to have athletes doing things that they couldn't imagine themselves being able to do.
That's Carey Davis, Jamie Rivers, Andrew Marsh. I'm Anthony Stalter. We're late for the Gauntlet. Let's get to it next.
categories, one challenger. Can you survive the gauntlet?
Brought to you by Blue Note Roofing. Roofing, siding, and gutters. Visit BlueNoteRoofingSTL.com for a free inspection.
Your time check is brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler, with Andrew Marsh, Carey Davis, and Jamie Rivers. I'm Anthony Stalter. We welcome in Drew. What's up, Drew?
Hey, what's up, guys?
Appreciate you playing. Thanks for listening today. Would you like to take on Marsh, CD, Jamie, or me today in the Gauntlet?
I got to go with my boy CD.
All right. Carey Davis. Led to the cone of silence right now.
All right, Drew, good luck. Hopefully he said it back this time, unlike the other guy.
Nope.
He didn't say anything?
Nope, he didn't.
Screw you.
All right, Drew. Take back my good luck.
In fairness, we didn't give him a chance to, but yeah.
Wow.
I still haven't heard it.
Still haven't heard it.
All right, Drew, go ahead and tell Marsh to spin that wheel.
All right, Mars, go ahead and spin the wheel.
What category are you hoping for, Drew?
I'm a fan of all sports. I think random is funny, but I'd like football if I could.
Okay. And
The wheel is evil.
And it is funny.
It's random?
Yep.
Again? We got random again.
Random. Okay.
Crazy.
Yeah.
How many days in a row?
Well,
maybe not in a row.
broke
But
up.
Take a hiatus, yeah.
It broke up. You guys had it like 3 days in a row.
Whew.
I had football. Then it went random again. And I think it's
All good. All good.
Okay. All right. So, Drew, you're going to get 4 random questions. Each is worth 2 points unless you ask for the options. If you ask for the options, those questions become worth 1 point. Are you ready?
I am ready.
All right. Question 1. In Greek mythology, who punishes Sisyphus by forcing him to roll a boulder up a hill for eternity?
I remember that. Seriously.
Okay. And can you repeat the question real quick?
In Greek mythology, who punishes Sisyphus by forcing him to roll a boulder up a hill for eternity?
Man, we just talked about the. Let's go Hades. Final answer.
Just talking about it last night.
It wasn't. All right. Question 2. Spell the word kookaburra, which is the national bird of Australia. We need a proper spelling, please, Drew.
Kookaburra. You're asking me to spell it, correct?
Yes, sir. K-O-O-K-A-B-E-R-A. Is that your final answer? Okay.
Keep spelling, mister.
Are you going to the mall later?
Question number 3. Where is Bastille Day celebrated?
What is the word? Where is what?
Bastille. Where is Bastille Day celebrated?
Where is Bastille Day celebrated? Okay. Options.
Options are Poland, France, or Ireland.
Poland, France, or Ireland? Poland, France, or Ireland? Let's go France. Final answer.
All right, Drew, last question. Name the South Carolina senator who filibustered for 24 hours and 18 minutes against the Civil Rights Act of 1957.
Good Lord. Options, please.
Storm Thurmond, Mitch McConnell, or Harvey Milk?
Correction.
What?
A is Strom.
Oh, Strom, excuse me. Strom Thurmond. Thank you, Jamie.
Sorry.
Strom Thurmond, Mitch McConnell, Harvey Milk.
What was the year again?
1957.
All right, so it's not Mitch McConnell.
He is old.
He is rather old.
He is old.
Not that.
Let's go with Thurman. Final answer.
Okay. And we'll bring back our guy CD from the Cone of Silence. How you feeling, Drew?
Not great, but it's a sunny Friday, so I got my whole family in the car, so it's all good.
Oh, good. All right. Well, say hi to the family from the fast lane. Or not. All right.
No,
Carey.
I heard him.
Oh, did you?
I did,
Okay.
yeah.
My bad.
I heard yeah.
So a couple people in the Snake Pit saying that we have some audio issues, so hopefully everything's good.
No, I'm sorry. I wasn't ignoring you. I just couldn't hear what you said.
No, that's all right. No,
it's
all good.
Anthony's fault. Don't worry.
It is my fault. Absolutely. Always.
Well, you're the leader of the team, so when things go, it's his show. So when things go well, you get credit. When things go poorly, you take the blame.
I think
It's like the manager. It's like Ali. It's best player on the team.
Yeah.
You get the credit when we do good. You get the blame when we don't.
No, I think it is like Ali, where I get the blame.
Well, Anthony designated me the captain, so I guess maybe that's why you did it. So I would get the blame for everything now.
That's a veteran move.
You are operating the board, so if no one can hear it, it might be your fault.
It is.
Marshy.
I think everyone can hear everything perfectly fine.
All right, well, good. Carey.
Right, yeah.
Random.
Again.
Yes. Jamie?
Okay. Pack a lunch.
Here we go.
Are you Canadian? Again?
You hanging around a bunch of Canadians last night. Yeah.
They infiltrated him.
Whoa.
All right, Carey. Question 1. In Greek mythology, who punishes Sisyphus by forcing him to roll a boulder up a hill for eternity?
For eternity? Is that how long he had to roll that boulder?
It's only for the rest of his life.
He's probably still doing it.
Option.
Yeah, somewhere. It is strong. Zeus, Hera, Hades.
Well, I don't think it was Zeus. Hades. Who's the second one? Hades? Harris? Ooh, Casino?
Slow down.
The options are Zeus, Hera, Hades.
Those are the options?
Yeah.
Oh, Lord.
Zeus, Hera, Hades.
Hera. Final answer.
All right. Next question. Spell the word kookaburra, which is the national bird of Australia.
Kookaburra. I have to spell it? What the hell
Yes,
is
please.
this? We got a spelling bee?
Just spell the damn word, please.
Kookaburra. Kookaburra. Can I get the origin?
Kookaburra. The kookaburra flew around Sydney,
Yeah, the origin
dropping
is
bombs
Australia.
on people's heads.
Oh, okay.
It's Australian.
He used it in a sentence. That was my next question.
I
You
did.
gave me the origin. All right. Kookaburra. Oh, jeez Louise. Let's start with a C or a K. Kookaburra. K. O. O. K. Kookaburra. A. B. E. R. R. A. Final answer.
Question number 3. Where is Bastille Day celebrated?
Who the hell came up with these questions? Options, please.
Options are Poland, France, or Ireland.
Waterboy said, is that bird from Ohio?
Well played.
What was the last one? What was the...
I'll just say them again. Poland, France, and Ireland.
Ireland, final answer.
All right, Carey, final question. Name the South Carolina senator who filibustered for 24 hours and 18 minutes against the Civil Rights Act of 1957.
I told y'all I don't know history. Options.
Is it Strom Thurmond, Mitch McConnell, or Harvey Milk?
Mitch is old, but is he that damn old? Harvey Milk? That's a real person.
Wow. We think.
Who is the first name? Can you give me the options again?
Strom Thurmond, Mitch McConnell, Harvey Milk.
I find it hard to believe that Harvey Milk. Wait a minute. Strom Thurmond, final answer.
All right, let's go over these.
Where is Harvey Milk?
Drew versus Carey today in an absolutely brutal random.
Oh, man.
Name the South Carolina senator who filibustered for 24 hours and 18 minutes against the Civil Rights Act of 1957. You both asked for the options. You both landed on Strom Thurmond. Correct answer is...
It was, in fact, the Terminator, Strom Thurmond.
All right.
Nice job, guys. 1-1 tie between Drew and CD. In Greek mythology, who punishes Sisyphus by forcing him to roll a boulder up a hill for eternity? Drew, you took the options. You went with Hades. Carey, you took the options. You went with Hera. Correct answer is...
It's Zeus.
Zeus was the only one who had the authority to do that.
Yeah.
Come on, guys.
1-1 tie. Spell the word kookaburra, which is the national bird of Australia. Neither of you took the options. You said, you know what? I got this. Gary, you spelled it Kookaberra. Drew, you spelled it Kookaberra. Correct answer is...
Kookaburra. I even pronounce it kookaburra.
And then you guys both changed it to Barra.
That was the problem.
I said it right. I even over-accentuated it.
So we're still tied 1-1. Comes down to this.
This is it, baby.
Where is Bastille Day celebrated? Carey, with the options, said Ireland.
That's Irish name right there.
Drew
Mick
said
Bastille.
France.
That sounds a lot better.
If it's France, Drew wins. If it's Ireland, CD wins. If it's Poland, we've got a walk-off. Drew.
You have chosen wisely.
Bastille, of course, is France.
That Irish saint, Bastille.
Bastille.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was
Drew,
thinking Spanish. I don't know why.
Drew, congratulations. You get to celebrate all weekend with the fam and then come back on Monday to take on somebody else in the Gauntlet. Nice job.
Oh, man. Hey, it's only because I didn't say good luck, CD. I'm sorry, man.
Not a problem.
Good strategy.
Good job.
Yeah, you got in CD's head right away, Drew. Nice job, man. Congrats.
All right, appreciate it, guys.
All right, take care. There you go. Carey's going to head to the cone of silence.
He said the penalty box.
Cone of silence. You're ahead there. Now you get to go to the penalty box.
You're going to be great in there, though.
Yeah, you're going to be great. And from there, we'll have Bet the Board next on ESPN.
Oh, God.
board here in the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. Marsh, what do we got for latest standings? Give it to us. Hard.
Well, it just seems like Jamie just keeps getting lucky.
Better.
Not lucky. I'm sorry.
Yeah, lucky.
I wasn't very lucky. No.
Am I on?
No,
now
you are.
When the little green buttons on you.
Well, hell, I don't know how that works. I don't.
Well, red, green.
Go. Stop.
Carey, now that you're in the penalty box, I realize how much I appreciate you sitting where you do, because that blue light from our disco lights, right in my eye.
Blinding.
The other day when Carey wasn't here, it was hard to focus sometimes because you had a green dot on your forehead for most of the show. Had it been red, I'd been looking over my shoulder the whole show.
Yeah. What's funny is I did move. I tried to move this.
That's a weird.
Anyways, all right. So Jamie's just beating the snot out of us. Is that what you're saying?
Jamie didn't get his.
No, he absolutely did.
No, he didn't.
Yeah, Brady Kachuk had a point.
I had Matthew.
Matthew.
I had Matthew.
Yeah.
Is that what you've been doing? You've been giving him points that he hasn't earned?
I was honest.
I put Kachuk point. I couldn't remember if it was Brady or Matthew.
It was Matthew.
Matthew.
All right. Well,
Actually, no, it might have been Brady.
No, Matthew.
No. Okay, so Jamie's still at 10 points. Carey, the Celtics did good last night, so you're at 8 points. Unfortunately, Anthony, the United States did not win last night.
Thanks, Spinner.
I had
Nice pick.
Hellebuck under 27 and a half saves. He had 24, so I pick up a point. So, Anthony, me and you were tied. Jamie's at 10, Carey at 8.
All right, let's get this started. So many great choices in the world of sports for tonight.
And basketball.
Could barely contain myself. Marquette, Villanova. It's a premier game in the NCAA awful. And What? Anyways, Marquette minus 130 on the money line. The spread is 1.5. Give me Marquette, please.
The old Golden Eagles. Yeah. Okay. Carey.
Give me the Golden State Warriors minus 2 versus Sacramento.
What's the money line play?
I can't see that far, Jamie. Maybe I should have taken that.
Double check Carey because he does this stuff all the time, you know.
What is that money line play?
I don't know.
Why'd you even bring it up, Jamie?
Let me check. Hold
because
on.
I didn't know where the money line was. I had to ask.
It's minus 135.
Okay. We'll allow it.
Give me the money line play at
Yeah,
minus
see.
135. Give me the money line play at minus 135.
He was taking minus 2 until you brought up the money line.
That means if they win by 1, I still win.
All right.
Yeah, thank you, Jamie. My brother.
I'm just trying to help out.
I'm allowed when they win by 2. Jamie, we're in a competition here.
Are you?
No, not this much. That's fair. You got me. My competitive streak's starting to fire up here.
You can go, Anthony.
This is when Spike
He's going to start fading people.
That's all he's going to do.
Give me No.
Okay, go ahead.
Give me the over in tomorrow's Florida State.
Oh, that's right. I always forget we can do weekends.
Hang on. I'm going to change my pick now.
I always forget we can do the weekend on Friday.
Yeah.
It's my bad. Can I change?
I love your guys' reactions here like I shot somebody. Give me the over in the Florida State-Louisville game. It's 150.5. 150.5. Over's 9-1, Carey, in the last 10 meetings between those two.
Is this your
ACC.
pick, or is this a pick you were going to give someone? Because
no, you guys are all here. Yeah. Yeah,
Is your pick?
Yeah.
Okay.
So go ahead and take the under. If I was picking for Jamie, you might as well go ahead and follow me.
Yeah.
Give me, I'm sure this guy's hungry to get back to playing hockey. Give me a Leon Draisaitl anytime goal scorer against the Jamie Rivers Philadelphia Flyers.
Can I change my pick? For real?
Yes.
Do you care?
I don't care.
Carey, do you care?
I don't care.
All right.
I only care if it hits.
Well, okay. Well, give me a Leon Draisaitl power play point.
All right.
It's
Got that, Marshy?
plus 160.
Leon Draisaitl.
Leon.
Yeah.
Leon.
Not his brother, Larry.
Who is also a very good player.
Yeah, I heard.
Just not quite.
Larry Draisaitl.
Yeah.
Who called him Larry?
Nobody. I'm just messing with Mark because he gave him Brady Kachuk. Said Matthew.
All I wrote down was Draisaitl.
I got Larry Draisaitl over 1 or 0.5 power
Nice.
play point.
There you go.
Okay, it's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. Why don't we do our Sports Six Pack next? 314-399-9646 is the Air Comfort Service tax line. Part 1 of the Sports Six Pack next.
ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. Jordan Binnington of your St. Louis Blues stopped 31 of 33 in last night's Four Nations Face-Off Championship game as Team Canada won in overtime by a final score of 3-2. We talked about that earlier in the show. We also talked about Jordan Binnington and whether or not this would be a good time to trade the Blues netminder. If you missed that conversation or anything from today's show, make sure you go to 101ESPN.com or check out the free Dobbs Tire and Auto Center's 101 ESPN mobile app. Just head to the podcast page, and you'll find all of our full shows there. And it's all brought to you by the Schaefer Door Company. We have our Sports Six-Pack coming up next, so get your questions into the Air Comfort Service text line, 314-399-9646. Six-Pack coming up next. I'm Andrew Marsh, and this Sports Center update is driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. See them at londoff.com. Chevy, together we drive. Are you kidding me?
It's time for the Fast Lane to answer your sports questions.
I want to ask you a bunch of questions, and I want to have them answered immediately.
Asking me all these weird questions.
Answer the question. Answer the question.
Answer me!
The Sports Six-Pack is now.
It's Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. Time for our Sports Six-Pack with Carey Davis and Jamie Rivers. I'm Anthony Stalter, and here's Andrew Marsh with your text questions to the Air Comfort Service text line, 314-399-9646.
Question number one.
All right, from the 314, now that Connor McDavid has his own overtime goal for Team Canada, is he now the face of Canadian hockey?
Well, I think he's been the face for hockey for a while, but he's the face of Canadian hockey. I still think Sidney Crosby wears the crown for now. I mean, Sidney Crosby, had he played in this tournament and played in a limited role, slightly irrelevant, good leader, nice to have there, but, that's it. But he didn't. He played really well. I mean, he went 3 points the first game of the tournament, and he had a big hit in the one game to put the empty netter in against Finland. So for now, it's Sidney Crosby, and Sidney Crosby will definitely be on the Olympic team next year. The passing of the torch, per se, could be next year at the Olympics. If Sidney Crosby's more of just a veteran guy on the team, third liner, whatnot, and Connor McDavid tears that apart at the Olympics and Canada wins gold again, I think you'll see that passing of the torch then.
So this tournament, and again, I think it meant something. Like, it meant something to teams that were playing in it.
It actually meant something.
That goal was, I told you earlier today, I thought it was 87, and then I realized it was 97. I was like, and then immediately I thought, this is his team now. This is about him. And not because Sidney Crosby didn't play well, but he's getting older. Like, he doesn't have, how many more years does he have left in him?
The age thing again, Anthony.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, he's got an issue with it.
An age problem when you're an athlete. Because at some point, Jamie, you know this.
Why are you looking at me like that? Because I'm older than you?
Because I know this. Your body doesn't do the things that it used to do when you were 21 or 25 or 31. You're like, damn, I can't move like I used to. It hurts getting out of bed. So I feel like because he's 37 years old now, Connor McDavid, a much younger man, possibly could be his time to shine.
It might be. Although, as big as this tournament was, especially from a viewership standpoint with the rivalry of Canada-USA, it wasn't the Olympics. Mm-hmm. And the last time that Canada participated in the Olympics, Sidney Crosby scored the golden goal. Overtime winner against Team USA. So I still think that if Connor McDavid shows out at the Olympics next year, I think at that point he becomes like the next Mr. Canada.
I do think with the amount of people that were watching, the new viewers of the game of hockey, I think it was perfect for the NHL that the best player in their league scored the biggest goal in the biggest game other than the Stanley Cup. I think that was huge for the sport rather than it being like a crappy goal off of, Brandon Hagel's shin pad or something. You know what I'm saying?
What was huge, too, is Brady Tkachuk scoring a goal as well.
Oh, yeah.
Because everybody for the last week has been talking about the three fights, the Tkachuk brothers, this, that, the other. So not only is he a physical presence, but for him to score a goal for Team USA in the final game, like people get drawn to that too. So Connor McDavid on the Canadian side, one of the Kachucks on the American side. It really kind of was perfectly played out.
Question number 2.
From the 314, is the era of the modern-day All-Star game effectively dead? It just seems nobody has any interest in it, not the fans or the players.
Yeah, I would say so. And it's a shame, too, because I don't really know what they do about it. The NBA, Carey, you're there. The NBA tried.
They did.
It's not like they've been just doing the same thing over and over again. They're trying because they know that the All-Star game or All-Star weekend has just lacked luster. The NFL has tried. You know, they knew they had a problem when the players weren't really tackling and the scores were like, 60-something to 50-something. So they changed it up. They knew they had to, but that doesn't mean that they fixed anything. I don't know what you do about it.
The NBA is probably the easiest one to fix because all they need to do is play harder. Right? They play harder and they don't have to play to the max like they do in a playoff game, but they do need to play harder, play defense. You can stand in front of somebody and not allow them to go around you by not moving your feet and just being lazy and reaching. So, and that's the one sport that you don't have to worry about injury. Hockey, you worry about injury if guys are playing hard, extremely hard, running into one another. Football, obviously, they don't even put the pads on because of that issue. Baseball it is what it is. Like, you're not going to have guys going all out like they normally do. It's just, but it's no threat of injury in that either. But it's still baseball, and people, again, we talked about it earlier, don't really watch as much baseball. So basketball probably has the greatest opportunity to get their All-Star weekend back, their All-Star game, but it just starts with guys actually giving a damn and playing hard. And until then, it's not going to be.
I think baseball is the best All-Star game from the way that the players play, because you can't really go through the motions in a baseball game.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you either get up there and, you're trying to hit the ball. Like, that is what it is. And the pitchers aren't throwing 80 miles per hour and serving up softballs to them.
Yeah, if they changed it up to a softball game or something like that, that'd be a little bit different. You're right. I like how baseball mics up the players too, and you get the insights. I mean, sometimes they have the pitchers that are kind of talking through things. I remember Alek Manoah a couple of years ago where he was breaking down. Like, I think that's interesting. If you could give insights to the game and people are interested, that's one way to do it.
Question number 3.
From the 636, do you think anyone besides Colton Parayko and Jordan Binnington from the Blues that could go to the Olympics next year? Anybody on the team?
Well, I think the obvious pick right now is you look at someone like Robert Thomas. I think that he found himself in the final group of players that could have been picked for the Four Nations tournament. Things didn't work out the way he wanted. The injury that he had early in the season, the broken foot, I'm sure played a huge part in that. And now the rest is on Robert Thomas. I mean, it's up to him. If he plays the way he has all year next year, then he probably won't be on that team.
Yeah, when did they pick that team? Is there a certain
Olympic team?
Yeah, it's got to be earlier than a couple weeks before the.
I think they have
Olympics.
a camp in the summertime for it, to where they have a large group of players go to that camp. So it's not like the roster; it'd be like the roster plus, instead of 14 forwards, what they had probably be like 20 forwards, and it'd probably be like 12 defensemen that go to that camp. And probably like 4, 5, 6 goalies. They get as many people on the ice in that camp as they can to get acclimated. And then from there, you're on notice, man. From the beginning of the season until they pick the team, which I think is like November, you got to be playing good, man.
Reminds me of Herb Brooks picking his team day one.
Absolutely.
Anthony, he knew exactly what he wanted.
Trust me,
he did.
The team is usually picked before even the camp in the summertime. They leave about 3 roster spots available for 20 guys to fight for. Because you already know McKinnon, Crosby, McDavid, a bunch of guys that are going to be there.
Thanks for giving me your very best.
All right. We'll continue our Sports Six Pack. So keep those questions coming in. 314-399-9646. That's the Your Comfort Service text line. Part 2 of the Sports Six Pack next.
It's time for the Fast Lane to answer your sports questions.
I want to ask you a bunch of questions. I want to have them answered immediately.
Asking me all these weird questions.
Answer the question.
Answer the question.
Answer me!
The Sports Six-Pack is now.
Part 2 of the Sports Six-Pack is now here in the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. Carey Davis, Jamie Rivers, Anthony Stalter. Go ahead, Marsh.
Question number 4.
All right, let's head to the Air Comfort Service text line. The 636 wants to know. Obvious with technology and whatnot, athletes are bigger and stronger these days. But are they tougher? And could they hang out at the bars after the games?
No. Some.
Not all.
No, they're just not wired the same. Like, they're just not. Coming up through, I'm not throwing shade at junior hockey, but playing junior hockey, just like going to college. You're out, you're doing your thing. No parents, you're living on your own. You're having a few drinks on the weekend. Your big game, big win on Saturday night. Like, these things happen. Then when you get to the pro level, you really don't have parents and you got a nice paycheck to go with it. You're doing pretty much anything you want, and going to the bar was a thing, man. We had beers, we had coolers with beer waiting for us in the locker room in the middle of the room when you get off the ice. Like, it was just like, here you go. Crack open a few beers. And that's not the case now. You have protein shakes and all these recovery drinks and all this stuff, which plays into why the athletes are more fine-tuned overall, because each era has their own, like, oh, this guy was, So overall, the athletes are more fine-tuned and probably regarded to be in better shape overall. But as far as like the toughness thing, if it's a 1-for-1, like this era's toughest versus last guy's tough, like it doesn't translate. It just was a different game back then. For hockey, I can't speak to football, but for hockey, it was a different game.
I agree. I think it's just mental toughness. I think there's a level of mental toughness that, as you have progressed in years and eras that, I don't think we were as tough as guys that played with leather helmets.
No kidding, right?
I probably wasn't. That got beat up and then went to work. Those guys were smoking cigarettes in the locker room sometimes, in the 70s after the leather helmet era. So I think decades and eras, it gets progressively softer. And just the mentality changes. I think players nowadays are more coddled. And when you have a direct coach with them, they tend to kind of shrink a little bit because they're not used to being spoken to in that manner. Mm-hmm. And, they got to figure it out. But I do agree with Jamie. I don't think a lot of these guys are as tough. And I think it's just mentally tough. I don't know if it's about physically, but mentally as tough as guys before them.
There's more scrutiny
Question
now.
number 5.
Damn it.
You're all right. There's more scrutiny now, though.
Well, it's easier to scrutinize with all the accessibility.
Media. Right.
Yep.
Yeah. So I think that is one aspect. I mean, there's the players are more under the microscope now than when you guys played. Mm-hmm. I mean, Jamie, your career probably gets cut off, I don't know, around year 7 or so, probably.
Social media?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, I missed social media.
Year 3, probably.
Yeah, I'm thankful.
But I wasn't doing anything wrong. It's just
you're just
the appearance of it would be
exactly.
Like if you go out for 3-4 beers,
right?
It doesn't mean you're ham sauced. But if you go for 3-4 beers 3 nights in a row, this guy, he's out every night.
Doesn't care. Right.
Yeah. So I could see it.
It was about 3 or 4,
at least.
Yeah, with the appetizers.
Sure.
You're telling me people don't smoke cigarettes in between periods?
Not anymore. Well, fans do. Yeah, fans will head out to the arena for intermission, but no, the players
smoke in the arena.
Used to have players doing it.
Everybody smoke in the arena.
You used to be able to smoke on an airplane. That makes a lot of sense.
Just smoke wherever. Indoors on the plane.
Cigs inside.
Yeah.
I remember my first training camp. I won't mention the player because it's irrelevant, but we had 2 ice sessions. You go out there for the first session, it was like drills, skating, this, that. And the second part of it was you'd play a little inter-squad game. Every training camp had like a little tournament. You had like 4 teams, like the red, the white, the blue team, whatnot. And we come off the ice, and I needed a new stick, so I went and got a stick. I was cutting a stick. And there's like the lounge area at the old Checker Dome. And sitting there was a player sitting on the couch, just hacking a dart. He had his own little ashtray. And I was like, okay, all right. And there's a veteran player, been playing a long time, too. good player, tough player. And,
Taking the edge off.
Taking the edge off, yep.
Sometimes it's needed.
Like no care in the world.
You know?
They went out and played great. Like, all right.
I'm sure they did.
How are your lungs still intact? How do you do that?
Just battle through it.
Pretty much.
Go ahead, Marsh. Sorry.
Question number 5.
From the 314, do we get a Jordan Binnington versus Connor Hellebuck 2.0 matchup tomorrow night?
That's a tough call because Binner wasn't at practice today. Skate tomorrow morning is optional. I imagine Hellebuck is in the same predicament that traveling to St. Louis today would make no sense for him to go to Winnipeg to come to St. Louis. I don't know. I think you might see Hofer versus Comrie tomorrow in that. You could have both of the backup goalies. And Binner probably tied one on last night a little bit. Let's be honest. I don't know that he did, but
there's video of them drinking a few.
Probably a couple
beers,
right? Probably didn't sleep. Maybe.
I thought Monty said he was going to give those guys a couple of days. What do you mean after Thursday night?
He didn't mean like games. He's like practices.
But I would probably need some time.
But who knows?
Like
Binner's wired different, man. He might say, "No, I want that game." No, it wouldn't coincide with the pattern that the Blues have been following. And Dave Alexander, by the way, congratulations to him as well. And Elliot Mondeau, two guys on the Blues coaching staff that were part of this gold medal winning team. But Dave Alexander's had a pattern where Binnington plays 2, Hofer plays 1. Like every 3 games is 2-1, 2-1, 2-1. Binnington just played 4 games in a row. So if they're keeping with this pace of keeping Binner relatively fresh, then it would indicate to me that Hofer might be in the pipes, but I don't know.
Question number 6.
From the 636, did any of you compete as mathletes in high school?
Oh, man, let me tell you about my days as a mathlete. Yeah,
no.
That's it.
Carey and I were just having a conversation in the break room. And one of the discussion points was whether or not we were smart.
Yeah.
So the answer to that, no.
Said I'm an idiot.
And I looked at him, and what did I tell you, Carey? What did I tell you?
I'm an idiot, too.
Samesies. Yeah.
I'm pretty much an idiot. However, like when it comes to straight math, no chance. Like I just got nothing.
I'm okay to a degree.
But when it comes to like business stuff, cost of doing business versus your margins, your this, your that.
Jamie's
I'm good
outstanding
at that.
at that.
I'm very good at that. So it's like that's my lane. I can stay in that lane. But if my kids come home with homework, or Ashley's young guy reads like in 6th grade or 7th grade, he comes home with math homework, I'm like, yeah, no.
You guys know what slope is?
Slope?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
it's a slope of the angle,
tomatoes.
Kayla Schifrin does that down the slope.
That's right.
Learned that the other day.
Not from St. Louis.
Not from St. Louis.
She's not.
But the greatest snowboarder / skier.
Snowboarder.
Ever.
Yeah.
Skier.
Yeah, no, I have to often teach myself the math that Madeline's bringing home.
I
She's in
hate
3rd grade.
Yeah, I hate
just so I can teach her.
Well, they changed the way they do math.
They change a lot of
the Why would you make it harder?
I don't know.
Why would you add steps? And then ask parents who are in their 30s and 40s to know these new steps that you added since they've been out of school for 20 years.
Right.
You know how that is. I try to be very polite with the educational system.
What do we do?
But don't ask me to help my child with the math that I didn't learn.
Right.
Their ass is sitting there for 8 hours. Teach them how to do it, man. I don't know how to do this. I'm over there, like you said, Googling.
Respectfully.
With all due respect.
Please teach my child. I cannot.
Slope is y equals mx plus b.
That's what Jamie was telling you in the office earlier.
Okay.
So did you compete in mathathons?
Absolutely not.
Mathletes.
Yeah.
Mathathons.
It's a marathon, but for math.
Yeah, they just continuously do math for 24 hours.
That's correct. Yeah. Well, not always 24 hours. No, not all marathons are 24 hours.
Not all math.
What is E equals MC squared? Isn't that one of them?
E equals MC squared?
Yeah, isn't that, who is that?
Einstein.
Einstein? Was that Einstein?
Yeah, that was Einstein.
Theory of relativity.
Oh, yeah. You guys know something.
There's the quadratic formula, teacher. I think that's oh gosh, what is it?
Gary, do you know what You know what pi is?
Yeah, 314. And a whole bunch of other numbers.
3.14.
Yep. 3.14.
It's actually 3.14159365
He's just making it up.
I'm actually not.
And we don't know the difference.
I told you
Look
he
it up.
participated in mathons.
Quadratic formula. I believe it's x equals opposite b plus or minus square root.
How did he
b
get
squared
here?
minus 4ac all over 2a.
Marshy is a genius.
How did he get here? I know how we got here. How did you get here?
Because I didn't apply myself, Anthony.
Neither did we.
Again, I know how we got here.
Yeah.
All right, Marsh.
You got to remember the jingles. That's how, you get little songs that.
Like the Window World jingle?
No,
Window World, yeah.
Yeah, we do Window Nation.
That's why.
No.
Yeah.
Window World's fine.
Okay.
All right.
That's Windows Direct.
Either way.
God, just move it along.
I don't have a window company, Carey.
Brutal, right? That was brutal. It was fine until.
No.
Oh, what?
Slope intercept form. My bad. See, this is why.
Okay. He's back. Marsh is back.
I told you he was making things up.
He's back. He's back on the team.
All right. These people are saying point slopes.
Yeah,
I'm already
Hey,
confused.
Marshy, wrong jingle.
Wrong jingle. I need the Anthony jingle.
Oh, that jingle is dangerous.
All right. It's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. One thing that at least Jamie knows of, and will carry us too, coaching. How did coaching impact last night's win for Team Canada? We'll get to that next on 101 ESPN. There's a great battle going on right now in the Missouri Valley Conference. You got Drake with a 14-3 conference record, but right behind him is UNI at 13-4. Bradley with 12 wins. This Missouri Valley Conference tournament that's coming to Enterprise Center on March 6th is going to be fantastic. It's Arch Madness. For my money, it's one of the best sporting events that we'll find here in St. Louis. Each and every year, it's a lot of fun. So whether you're an alum of one of the teams that are playing in the Arch Madness tournament, the Missouri Valley Conference, or you just want to take the family down to Enterprise Center for something that's going to be fun, basketball related, they got the Family Fun Pack. 4 single session tickets, 4 large sodas, and 4 large popcorns for $104. You can take your entire family downtown, watch a little basketball, choose one of the games, whether it's a Bradley matchup or Drake matchup. It's up to you. 4 single session tickets, 4 large sodas, and 4 large popcorns for the $104. It's that family pack. Check it out when the Arch Madness tournament comes to Enterprise Center March 6th through the 9th.
You're in the fast lane on 101 ESPN, driven by Scrap Mart Metals Recycling.
Somebody be selfish and shoot it in the net. McDavid with Marner.
Again, as we let up the show with, karma does not exist. We know that now after Team Canada beat Team USA last night. And this Canadian group, not the players, but all the fans, were complaining about Jordan Binnington being in net. And then when he saves their bacon, again, karma, you can throw right out the window. It's the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. He had Jon Cooper last night telling his team, be selfish. You just heard that audio. Be selfish. He made a move last night, Jamie, that you have alluded to throughout the course of the show today that really wound up being the difference last night in Connor McDavid scoring that goal. What was it?
So, Connor McDavid, relatively invisible for most of the game. He had a couple of good rushes up the ice, but nothing really dangerous. Connor McDavid himself, in an interview following the game, said, I really did nothing until I got that puck in overtime. Mm-hmm. And the reason is because Mike Sullivan, head coach for the United States of America, had matched up the Eichel line against McDavid. And to start the game, it was Eichel, Kachuk, and McDavid on the other side.
Wiped them out.
And Jack Eichel, who is never given enough credit for how good he is defensively, was very strong. He's a big guy. He's strong. He can skate with McDavid. Good reach, good stick defensively, good on faceoffs. But there was an icing in overtime. And that audio you heard from Jon Cooper was literally right before the icing call. The icing call happens. The Austin Matthews line is on the ice for icing. Therefore, they cannot change. Mm-hmm. Jon Cooper changes the matchup. Gets McDavid's line out there against Austin Matthews for that faceoff. What ensues is the play that wins the game. So Jon Cooper knew that if he could get him away from Jack Eichel, that maybe he could spring him loose, create some offense. Like, you don't know for sure he's going to score the winning goal.
Yeah.
But as a coach, you're trying to create a competitive advantage for your club. And he did so in that moment. And so the very next shot after Jon Cooper says, shoot the puck more, is from Connor McDavid. It goes in the net. Mm-hmm. And that shift versus Austin Matthews, Connor McDavid finds a way to get open. There is a massive misread by Team USA.
Now, you showed Carey and I.
Yeah.
You showed Carey and I looked over your guys' shoulder in the office, so it's going to be a little difficult to have the video without the video, but...
Yeah, I'll do my best, and people can always go back and watch the video.
Yeah,
kind of cross-reference it.
Did Adam Fox fast lane that up?
Well, pretty bad. But the beauty of it is the best players in the world find competitive advantages. And Connor McDavid off of the face-off, the U.S. winger who is coming into the face-off circle to get the puck, Connor McDavid puts his foot out and blocks the stick from being able to get the puck. Following that, he gets a little shot towards the net, misses the net, goes all the way out to the Canadian defenseman. Mitch Marner heads down to the corner behind the net. So he's telling his defenseman at that point, hard rim. You kind of know it's coming because the U.S. forward who's going out to the defenseman, he's in the shot lane and he's angling inside out, which means the defenseman has to put the puck down the corner or hard rim it. As the strong side defenseman, Adam Fox, who's playing on the strong side post, which is the same side as the puck, your job is to cut off that puck at all cost. It cannot get all the way around because now they've spread the zone out too. Mm-hmm. Creates more time and space. Adam Fox is slow to react to it. Puck goes past him. Adam Fox decides to follow the puck anyways. So now the defenseman who was in front of the net vacates the front of the net to go behind the net. Never a great play. However, his partner fills in, takes over the net front, covers the Canadian forward in front of the net. Problem with this is Marner has received the puck by now, and there's a ton of open ice in front of Marner, to where 2 or 3 hard strides out of the corner, he is creating a scoring opportunity for himself, and if nothing else, a passing opportunity to somebody else, maybe even McDavid at the time, because that play hasn't happened yet. So Austin Matthews, who's getting a lot of heat for this, he has to vacate that slot area to challenge Marner. Now, did he do it too quickly? Yes, I think he did it too quickly, because Marner originally is a no spot to score. On Connor Hellebuck, you're not scoring from the corner.
Right.
But Matthews trying to play aggressive defensively, he goes. Problem, Adam Fox, remember him, the defenseman?
Yeah.
He went behind the net. He goes too. So now 2 guys go to 1 player, and Connor McDavid finds, we call that soft ice, right in the middle of the house. He even moves over just enough so Marner can get him the puck. What should have happened is once Adam Fox sees Austin Matthews jump towards Marner, tight turn around that net, and his job is to head right out, stick on the ice. He's a right-handed shot, okay? Stick on the ice. He's going to be able to take up more space out there and take away the pass to Connor McDavid. And then maybe that goal doesn't happen. I can't guarantee it doesn't because it's the best player in the world.
Yeah.
But that's where the mistake was. 2 players go to 1 player in a very quick moment, and the best player in the world sees it happening and finds the open ice. And Mitch Marner, one of the best players in the league, finds him, and the game is over.
Great breakdown.
Sounds pretty simple.
It really is, but the problem is, Carey, it's happening so fast.
Yeah.
And it's not like you made this mistake against the other team's 3rd line, 4th line. You made this mistake against 3 of the best players in the world.
So when you broke it down, because that was one of the questions that I had when I came in, because it looked like it was 2 defenders and almost 3 over there in the corner, and you're leaving, as you said, one of the best players in the world wide open in front of the net. And what the hell are they doing? And you explained it. Fox goes and chases that down instead of getting back to the front of the net and protecting anything that could be shot on him. And you know, unfortunately, it happens so quickly that the puck is in the back of the net and the game is over in Canada.
Well, those players don't make mistakes, right? Like the offensive side of it, the tape-to-tape pass, shot, over, done.
Yeah, pretty good.
So I was watching the Sportsnet clip, and in that play, when Fox goes around the net, you can see him like motion with his glove, but you also very faintly hear somebody say, I got it, or I got him. I couldn't tell who said what, but I wonder if Adam Fox is looking at Austin Matthews waving his glove. Meanwhile, it could be Austin Matthews saying, I got him. And then there's that mix-up, which then leads to Connor McDavid being wide open in the high scoring
Well, there's obviously a
danger
mix-up
area.
between the 2, right? Like,
Right.
I just, at that, and you watch the goal over, Austin Matthews could have slowly challenged Marner. And that would have given Fox, if he's not going to veer off course, if he's just going to bury his head and go to Marner, Matthews can now kind of settle back into that slot area and take away the pass. But they're both trying to play aggressive. The stakes are high. Like, just a tough play.
Is this a situation, too, and we talked about Binnington being able to play the puck. That's not a spot, though, where he ends up, if Connor Hellebuck comes out of the net to slow that thing up on that hard rim,
No, I can't
correct?
do it. Can't
Just
do it
because
because
of
the right-handed
pressure.
shot still had an opportunity to put the puck on net. It would have been a weak shot, which would have been handled by Hellebuck. We call that a turnover. So if you vacate the net, there's a guy who can shoot on net.
Right.
And if you're the goalie, you've got to really cheat on that one.
And I didn't think he was that impressive playing the puck anyways.
He's never that impressive playing puck. So it's a play that was very well orchestrated by Team Canada and very poorly defended by the United States.
All right, that's Jamie Rivers, Carey Davis, Andrew Marsham, Anthony Stalter. We have your chance to score a pair of single-session tickets for the 2025 State Farm Missouri Valley Conference Men's Basketball Tournament. This is the last pair that we're going to give away today. The MVC, or earlier this week, the MVC tournament is hitting the court March 6th through the 9th at Enterprise Center. All session and single-session tickets for Arch Madness are now on sale. You can text them to win at 314-399-9646 or register to win now at 101ESPN.com or the 101 ESPN mobile app. Jamie has broken down the play of Team USA and Team Canada. What was he wearing that was tight last night when watching the Team Canada game. We'll accept one of two answers. One he mentioned on air, one he didn't. So flood in your answers to the Air Comfort Service text line, 314-399-9646. And if you're the 101st texter with the correct answer of what was Jamie wearing last night that was tight while watching the Team Canada victory over Team USA, you'll get those tickets to go see the Missouri Valley Conference tournament. Jordan Kyrou, has his development this season been the most promising thing to come out of this Blues season? We'll get into that next on 101 ESPN. Has the growth of Jordan Kyrou been the most promising thing to come out of this frustrating Blues season? It's Fastlane on 101 ESPN with Andrew Marsh, Carey Davis, and Jamie Rivers. I'm Anthony Stalter. So there's video from Luke Korak of Jordan Kyrou and Dylan Holloway staying after practice, continuing to work along after the practice was long over. Kyrou leads the team in goals and points and is tied for the lead in plus-minus and +10. 2 seasons ago, by comparison, he finished -38, and last season he was a -12. And a lot of fans have been frustrated over the lack of development overall for Jordan Kyrou. But I do think that his growth, as well as the emergence of guys like Dylan Holloway and Philip Broberg, I think those are the most promising things to come out of this Blues season.
So I had a spirited conversation with someone over the text line. Oh, boy. Imagine that. Last week, I think.
It doesn't sound like you.
Right, that's completely against my character. I don't do that.
No.
I do it all the time.
Sometimes we lose you for whole seconds.
You might, depending on what's said.
Sometimes this is Carey.
The entire time.
And it gets louder and louder as he gets angrier.
The more upset I get. But he was talking about Jordan Kyrou and, he's not good enough. He needs to be better. And my point that I was trying to make is he has been better this year than he has in past years, showing more effort, trying to play more of a 200-foot game, giving, back checking, doing all of the things that people complained about. And he's leading the team in scoring. Like, if you are a player like Jordan Kyrou, who is obviously, I think, has matured in his game, getting older and understanding that I just can't shoot and try to score. I have to play both ends of the rink. I think he's done a much better job this year. Is it to the level that maybe some people want it to be? Probably not, but it is much better than it has been, which to me, it shows growth. And as a coach, you're always pushing for a player to get better and better and better. But if you see incremental improvement, you accept that and you say, okay, now you have a viewpoint. You have something to show them, hey, this is what I've been talking about. These are the things that I'm explaining to you. And I think he's done a fantastic job. And when you hear of players, your better players staying after, spending more time, doing the little things, that to me is just it's more of a point of saying, hey, this is actually a player that is trying and wants to do the things much better than they have been. Are y'all hearing knocking, or is that just in my head?
It's probably just in your head.
Is it?
Yeah.
I don't hear
Am
any
I
knocking.
crazy? No, it's like dun, 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 dun.
Is the fan behind you?
No. I'm hearing knocking.
What? I don't hear anything.
I don't
Really?
I hear your wonderful voice, Carey.
Yeah, I was locked into your voice.
I was.
Why don't you?
Okay. Take a break?
Yeah.
You all right?
I don't know, man.
Did you need a water?
It was a bad thing in the latest Stranger Things.
No, it ain't that.
The latest Stranger Things season, these people, they were hearing old clock.
What?
Yeah, old clock. It's not a good. It wasn't good.
What did you think he said? With the movement you just made, you thought you heard something else.
Oh, a grandfather clock.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was.
Yeah.
Okay.
You didn't want to hear that.
out.
Yeah.
This is I don't know.
Okay. Back on topic, since Carey's hearing voices. You still hear it? Okay. I was worried if you took the headphones out and you heard it. I was like, okay. We talked, I think the other day, we talked about watching.
That's Marsh.
Huh? Yeah, now he's messing with me.
Yeah. We talked the other day about Sidney Crosby, Nathan McKinnon, those guys still on the ice after practice, working on things. And first guy's on, last guy's off. Mm-hmm. That's what the best players in the world do. And Jordan Kyrou is taking steps in the right direction. That's the bottom line. You look at the start of this season, Jordan Kyrou was very good. And then I would say he's taken 2 or 3 steps forward under Jim Montgomery. Monty's done a really good job of keeping him engaged, keeping him playing on the right side of the puck. And that line combination of Schenn, Holloway, and Kyrou has been the most consistent line you've had all season. And so those guys, it's, this, guys, anybody. If you start feeling a level of success, you want to continue doing what you're doing and maybe even do more to have bigger success. That's the sign of maturity from an athlete, from a player, from a businessman, no matter what. When you are recognizing your growth, you don't stunt it by stop doing what you're doing or change directions. You continue to pour yourself into it. And that's what's happening with Jordan Kyrou. What's great about it is, I don't know if it's Kyrou leading Holloway or Holloway leading Kyrou, or if they both just love doing the work together. Mm-hmm. But they are line mates, and they're both very young, talented players, great speed, great ability to score points. And they're out there working on things. And it's showing. I mean, it's translating to game situations. Knock, knock, knocking on heaven's doors.
I don't know what it is.
And that has been...
Knock, knock, knocking on heaven's door. Nirvana.
Wow.
Nirvana.
Was that close?
No. No.
It's closer than Journey and Stained.
I don't know.
Knocking on
Nirvana? Traditional rock with grunge?
Knocking on heaven's door.
It is rock, yeah.
Metallica?
You're closer with Metallica, but still so far.
AC/DC. Am I getting further away? I don't know these bands.
Welcome to the jungle.
Welcome to the jungle.
Who sings it?
We got fun and games.
Who sings it? Nirvana again? How about
Guns N' Roses.
There you go. That one. All right.
Yes.
Carey Davis.
Knew that one.
Yeah. So anyways, put a bow on this. It pays off when you're working hard and you're working with the right people. And Jordan Kyrou is doing that right now this year, and you're seeing why. He's consistently having good games, not just offensively, but he's less of a worry defensively. When's the last time you're like, oh man, he mailed it in, he wasn't trying it.
Adam Fox last night.
Adam Fox, yeah. But I'm talking about our text line.
Oh, no.
No, that was the conversation that I had last week with the guy, and I'm like, you're. I didn't want to say he's crazy, but you're crazy, man. Like he's playing harder. He's doing the little things that he had not been doing in years past, and that's what you've been asking for. And I think, Jamie, you would know this better than me. I think he's kind of turned the corner in terms of like his maturation and leadership. Leadership is not necessarily just, what you say, but showing leadership by staying after, playing harder, showing up in ways that you had not shown up before, and other people are looking at you. Now you're not only the guy that's scoring the goals, but you're doing the other things as well. And when you're in film session, Jamie, and you can attest to this, when the coach says good things about you and your peers hear that, you're like, oh, crap, that kind of feels good. It's much better than, what the hell were you doing here? That is an awful feeling. But when the coach is like, look at you, this is what we're talking about. These are the type of plays that are going to help us win games.
Yeah, you want to run through a wall.
Oh, hell.
Well, and another part of it, too, is although we shouldn't use it as a measuring stick, but it's inevitable in today's day and age, is social media.
Yeah.
Jordan Kyrou's on social media, and if he doesn't see his name popping up or people saying trade Kyrou, get rid of him, like he's intelligent. Just figure, okay, I'm playing a pretty good style of hockey.
This is nuts. Now you hear me?
Go to a break.
I heard it for like 30 seconds.
For me.
Throw it to a break.
By the way,
The text line said they're hearing it. The one person texted in saying boom, 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 boom. We can hear it.
I'm telling you.
It's very faint.
Boom, boom,
I don't hear it.
I don't either.
Boom,
Boom, boom, boom. Let me just say, hey-oh.
By the way, Rhythm Maker with a great point. It was actually a Bob Dylan song that Guns N' Roses covered.
Correct.
Yeah. And if you're going to do a cover,
Come on, you can't.
It better be really good.
Can't confuse Carey
that
like
cover's
that.
really good.
Yeah, that was Guns N' Roses.
Yeah.
Axl Rose.
Yeah, yeah.
Look at you go.
Look at me.
Loves playing in St. Louis, I heard.
And Montreal.
Yeah.
Neither are true. November Rain, another
Cold
GNR.
November rain.
Purple Rain?
No, that was Prince.
Okay, I know that rain.
Little patient.
Different Rain.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a great song.
Great song.
I may listen to some Guns N' Roses on my ride home
Yeah,
tonight.
you will.
Yeah.
By the way, can we give a little shout out to Jamie Rivers and that sweet voice that he has? Because I think they should have trotted him out last night for the Canadian national
I would
anthem.
have killed it compared to what she did.
I was watching.
She killed it. She killed it like dad.
She said it was no error. It was no error. She did it on purpose.
Then that was really
You
bad.
were awful on purpose.
So
That's
She changed the lyrics.
She skipped words and changed the lyrics.
Yeah, where did it go? I just saw
Okay.
it.
That's like the Declaration of Independence. I just made it my own.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't. What are you doing?
Just hold on.
Yes. What's that?
Nothing. Go
Okay.
ahead. Yeah.
All right. We have the biggest question of the day next in the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. Missouri sports fans, we got some good news for you. Underdog Fantasy is available in our state, so you can just download the app, and Underdog Fantasy allows you to play NBA, NHL, college basketball. They even got UFC. You can combine plays too. So let's say you like Steph Curry to go higher than 26.5 points tonight. You can actually combine that Steph Curry pick with an NHL pick for tomorrow in the Blues games. Or if you wanted to maybe test your hand at college basketball tonight or tomorrow and combine your picks higher or lower on certain player stats. With an NHL game tomorrow, you can do that courtesy of Underdog Fantasy. It's a lot of fun to play. You can win up to 1,000 times your money just by playing at Underdog Fantasy, and you can play for as little as $1. And if you get everything right, you can win up to 1,000 times your money, depending on how many picks you have and what you're adding to it. Millions of fans have already won billions making plays on Underdog. Their app has over 100K 5-star reviews, millions of players. I love the app. I love the features. I love the fact that, again, you can combine different sports and play all throughout the weekend, different sports, and win a lot of money doing so. Download the Underdog app. Sign up now using my promo code Anthony to unlock a special offer of up to $1,000 in bonus cash when you make your first deposit. Join in on the fun when you sign up with promo code Anthony. My first name, pretty easy. Claim your special offer today and get up to $1,000 in bonus cash instantly upon your first deposit. Must be 18 plus, 19 plus in Alabama, Nebraska, 19 plus in Colorado for some games, 21 plus in Arizona and Massachusetts, and present in the state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Void in Colorado. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org. In Arizona, call 1-800-NEXT-STEP or text NEXT STEP to 53342. In New York, call the 24/7 HOPE line at 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY.
ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a SportsCenter update brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling. Team Canada defeats the United States last night in the Four Nations Face-Off Championship game by a final score of 3-2 in overtime. Jordan Binnington with some spectacular saves in overtime to keep that game alive. Connor McDavid ends up getting the game winner. We talked a lot about that game today. If you missed that, any of the conversations from today, make sure you go to 101ESPN.com or check out the free Dobbs Tire and Auto Center's 101 ESPN mobile app. Just head to the podcast page, and we will have all of our full shows there. It's all brought to you by the Schaefer Door Company. Tomorrow, we'll have some college hoops for you early in the day. Houston going up against Iowa State. Pregame starts at 12:45 with the tip-off at 1, and then we'll have Blues and Jets tomorrow night. Pregame starts at 5. Puck drop is at 6. We have our biggest question of the day coming up next. I'm Andrew Marsh, and the SportsCenter update is brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling, an independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
It's time for the Fast Lane's biggest question of the day.
Time for the biggest question of the day here in the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN with Carey Davis and Jamie Rivers. I'm Anthony Stalter. Marcy, go ahead.
I want to go back to the idea of trading Jordan Binnington. Coming off a huge win, Team Canada. Everybody's talking about him right now. I think we can all agree that the Blues are not Stanley Cup contenders in the near future. With that being said, I'm sorry to break the news to you, Jamie. I hate to do it. I don't like being the bearer of bad news.
So negative.
Carey brought up a good point, though, early in the show. With Jordan Binnington being a big game goaltender, you have to get to the big game. And right now, I don't believe the Blues are in a position to find themselves in said big game based on what we've seen not only this season, but the previous few seasons. With that being said, does it make sense to trade Jordan Binnington? Maybe not here at the deadline, but in the near future before his contract expires, just because the Blues necessarily aren't in the position to make the playoffs and go on an extended run.
So the only issue, well, a couple of them. One, you're trading away a hell of a goaltender.
100%.
Two is like, where's Joel Hofer in his development? Like, is he ready to take on the lion's share? Because the Blues right now have a really good pipeline of goaltenders. Colton Ellis is playing fantastic down in Springfield, well north of 900 as a save percentage down there. Could he be a good backup for Joel Hofer if Joel Hofer comes in and starts to play 50 games? But again, can Hofer play the 50 games? And through your rebuild, retool that the Blues are going through, is Hofer good enough to keep them competitive on a nightly basis? And is he mentally strong enough to handle bad nights because your team is still going through the retool and the inconsistencies of being a team like that?
Yeah.
You know that Jordan Binnington is mentally strong enough to do that. And you know that on some nights when you don't deserve points or victories, he's going to get that for you. Mm-hmm. I just don't know if Joel Hofer's ready. I'm not saying he isn't. And I know well, you don't know unless you try him. Okay, but then what if it fails? Now what?
Hopefully you got a good enough player back. I mean, not that that helps you
but in
like
goal,
Carey, but
exactly.
It's almost like trading one problem for another.
Could be.
Yeah.
Or it could be fantastic, and Joel Hofer steps in and he's ready to go. He's got your 45 to 50 starts a year, hovering around a 905 save percentage to giving you Binnington-esque type games, but it's the unknown. That's the problem in something like this.
Jamie, how realistic is it that the Blues are competing, real competing within the next 2 years?
Why do you bring that up?
Because
why 2 years?
That would factor in for me when it comes to whether or not Binnington should be dealt.
So let's take a look at this really quick. If we pull up the Blues right now, we go down to Jordan Binnington. He has this year, next year, and the year after. So his contract...
Hence the 2 years.
2 years. And then he becomes an unrestricted free agent. This year, they're not a contending team. Next year, probably not. Not a contending team. Could be a playoff team.
Maybe a playoff team, but not a
Could
contending.
be.
Yeah, gotcha.
The following year, you're a playoff team. Not sure if you're a contender.
Okay.
But didn't we say the same thing last season, though? Like,
Pretty much.
well, this
Well, we
year we
thought that
could be a playoff team.
But we thought there'd
Things
be
change, Mox. You're
We
the
thought
starting
there'd be
quarterback
bigger
now.
steps forward, I think.
For sure. And we might not see steps forward next year either.
Might not.
Yeah.
I think there's that question of, are you wasting Jordan Binnington in his prime? Much like I think a few Cardinals fans had the question of, well, are you wasting Paul Goldschmidt and Nolan Arenado with the players that you put around him?
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if those are the same questions.
Jordan Binnington has a 18-team no-trade list as well for this year.
That's a lot.
Next year, it's 14, and the last year of his contract is a 10-team no-trade. So for this year, he obviously doesn't have a full no-trade clause. 18 teams is just over half the league. But, who knows who your dance partner is in this. And it's not to say that Jordan Binnington, let's say it's a Toronto Maple Leafs team. They decide to trade you Joseph Wool, St. Louis kid, young up-and-coming goalie, because they want certainty. They need that big game goalie. If that's the case,
it's a little different story. The timelines start to match up.
And Joseph Wool he's a 1B up in Toronto. His numbers are great.
Yeah.
But the Leafs are under pressure. They can't wait for Joseph Wool to become Jordan Binnington in a year or 2 or 3.
Yeah.
Just like you can't wait and waste Binnington for a year or 2 or 3.
It'd be interesting.
It'd be an interesting move that way. And then you'd have two goalies that were probably in the same. Actually, Wool's probably a little ahead of Hofer as far as development. So you could go like with a 50-50 split almost, or a 60-40 split with the net. It's a pretty good problem to have if you're the Blues.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
What else would you be getting back in that scenario?
Probably nothing.
Draft picks, maybe?
I don't know.
So
I don't think so. You go look at Joseph Wool's numbers.
Oh, you're talking about with Wool being a part of that.
That being, it would be like a 1-for-1.
I don't think that's a great deal.
Well, match up with your timelines, though. You get the younger goalie. They get the established goalie.
No, thank you, Anthony.
But it matches up with where you're at right now, which is the talent is on its way.
Yeah.
But it's not here yet.
No, thank you.
Okay, let me just ask you this.
Why are you being like me right now?
I don't know.
Let me just ask you this.
You feel good?
Carey?
Sure. Yes, sir.
30 games played. How do you like a 2.65 goals against, 909 save percentage?
I love it.
How you like
my question is
Joseph Wool right now.
I understand it, but if they're trading for Binnington, then they're trying to win now. Right?
Yeah, but
So
you're not.
Give me a little bit more.
Well, you could try. I'm not saying you wouldn't try.
Yeah.
But if I'm the Leafs, I'm like, go chase yourself. I'm giving you a premier young goalie.
And I'm giving you a guy that's going to help you win a Stanley Cup right now.
Maybe he is. Maybe
He's a big game player. That's what
He
Mark
is.
says.
Did you not see Team Canada and his performance?
Did you watch the game last night?
I did, but as Toronto has failed to do in the past, is they've really failed to get themselves to the big games.
Yeah. Which is why you're coming to get Binnington. So give me a little bit more.
You can try, buddy. Yeah. I'm just giving
I
you.
always want more, Jamie. You know that.
I know you like it all.
I want it all.
You do. And I like that about you, Carey. I really do.
I appreciate it.
You're always hungry.
Yeah. Stay hungry.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Good call. Marsh, you have something to add there?
Yeah, I'm just, since we're talking about Joseph Wool, St. Louis guy, it reminded me of Ben Bishop when, he was a Blue, went to the Senators, and then Tampa Bay traded for him when we talked about Tampa Bay earlier, right when they were kind of getting out of that retool and ready to, start pushing. And Ben Bishop was the starter in that at least supposed to be. I think he ended up getting injured, but that Stanley Cup against the Blackhawks, and that's when Vasilevsky came in, and, the history is history there, but he ended up being traded to the Senators in exchange for Corey Conacher
and Brian Elliott
in a fourth round draft pick.
I thought they got Brian Elliott in that one too. Pretty sure. I double check it. I don't know.
Not seeing it, but maybe there's more to it.
We'll figure it out.
All right. Let's wrap up this show. It's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. We've got what we learned, 3 stars of the day, criticisms and compliments next on 101 ESPN. miss anything from today's show, you can always download the podcast. Available at 101ESPN.com or the Dobbs Tire and Auto Center's 101 ESPN mobile app. All the podcasts, of course, brought to you by Schaefer Door Company. All right, gentlemen, what did we learn today? Carey, what did you learn?
You all think I'm a little crazy because I heard knocking.
You were.
Yep. You all looked at me like something's wrong with me. I actually did hear knocking. Marshy eventually heard it.
No, I didn't.
Mm-mm.
I don't hear it anymore.
I think Marsh was trying to be nice because, as we know, he's the nice brother.
He is. All right. Well.
The one that dies, though.
Correct. Yes. Well, we all die.
Nah.
Well, yeah, but like if we were in Four Brothers.
No, yeah, that would just be you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He's got the hat on. He's like Mark Wahlberg, though.
He's got the OJ hat on.
Why OJ?
Tight fit.
Why OJ? Because OJ wore a cap the night he went over to Bundy Lane.
Hey, it was cold.
Yeah.
In
wasn't
L.A.
Wasn't him.
It was a little chilly that
Remember
night.
that?
If it didn't. Here's all the details.
That's a little bit crazy.
I mean,
I wonder if he ever wrote a book about it.
That would have been a good idea for like money, but maybe not for, I don't know, trying to convince people you didn't do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not really smart.
Either way, Jamie, what did you learn today?
Yeah, what I learned today is that the four of us are like the cast of The Hangover, and that Marshy's more like Alan when it comes to the numbers.
The beautiful mind.
Yeah, good call. Yeah, that's a real good call.
I was thinking about it. I'm like, because he's not like just like the super smart kid. He's a little bit weird too, like us.
Sure.
He's just off a little bit.
Yeah.
And so
I
he
like
fits in. Yet, he's just different.
Yeah. I need to get that shirt.
You should.
Yeah, with the wolf on it.
What are all my friends doing here? Marsh? Marsh, what'd you learn today?
I learned a few things. I learned that I'm actually not good at math because the things that I brought up were actually wrong.
You're okay, Alan.
Alan Marsh. I learned that Leon Draisaitl has a brother named Larry.
Yes.
Larry Draisaitl.
And I learned that, there's some people that hear things and see things. Haley Joel Osment saw dead people. Yeah. And Carey Davis heard knocking.
It was loud, too.
It was.
I don't get it. But
I was talking. I'm like, what the hell is that?
we could see it in your eye. It's like you're. Yeah.
It was.
I actually couldn't. I
couldn't hear anything.
Made me pretty uncomfortable.
And I was actually paying attention.
I was too.
Yeah. It's weird.
Okay.
All right.
What I learned is that Team USA lost last night, but we do have somebody to blame. A couple somebodies. There's all the New York teams. Rangers player stunk. Well, the one Islander player stunk.
He wasn't good at all.
And why don't we, since we're attacking the East Coast, why don't we throw the Devils player into it? Because he stunk as well.
Not great.
So while Binnington won it for Team Canada, our New York players lost it for us.
You're from New York. How does that make you feel?
That's tough. I won't sleep tonight.
I'm sorry for that.
Thank you. Yeah. All right, Marsh, what do we got for criticisms and compliments and/or 3 stars of the day?
The Mahomes long body says that legends never die.
That's right. Yep, that's true.
So that's always good food for thought there. Love to see that. The 314 says, appreciate you, Marsh. You to MVP. Well, thanks.
There you go.
No doubt. Captain and MVP.
Nice.
Wow. I don't think I deserved it like Connor McDavid last night. From the 314.
Oh, wow.
I think Binnington should have won the MVP of the game.
Should have, I believe.
I agree.
Yes.
The 314 says, everyone have a great weekend. Go Blues.
Yes. Big weekend for your Blue Note.
Don't forget, in fact, we've got the game for you tomorrow. Blues and the Winnipeg Hockey Jets. Pre-game starting at 5 o'clock right here on 101 ESPN with the puck drop at 6 o'clock on the Blues Radio Network.
And don't forget, the game will be local tomorrow night. KMOV Channel 4. It'll be little bit of a different broadcast. Myself, John Kelly on the call. Chris Pronger will be joining the pre and post desk with Joey Vitale and Scott Warman.
Wow.
It's going to be a little bit of a different format, so check it out. Could be fun.
Okay, good. Looking forward to that.
The 618 says the Blues are in the Orange Reading Group. That's not nice.
Anthony,
which means what?
Huh? They're doing great.
If you showed up here.
That's what we tell them, just like his parents did.
My parents definitely didn't tell me I'm doing great. What the hell's wrong with you? I heard a lot. I don't know.
I'm trying.
I'm trying. Are you? How'd you know that's what my mom used to say? You heard it too.
Yeah, okay, yes.
I'm trying. Are you?
All right, let's get to our 3 stars of the day. Our 3rd star of the day is going to go out to Slope.
Yeah.
What kind, though?
We'll go with point intercepts.
That's my favorite one.
Yeah.
Yeah. 2nd star of the day goes out to Anthony's Jingles.
Oh, man.
Thank you.
Legendary.
Thank you. I came up with a new one. I came up with a new. Well, I added to it.
A remix.
A remix version. Yeah.
Worry about you.
I'm not the one here in Knox.
Seriously.
It's true.
I worry about both of you guys.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah,
speaking
we
of
worry
those
about you, too.
knocks, whether they're real or fake, knocking gets the 1st star of the day.
Nice. Yep. I like that. Marsh, well said on that. Well said. We also have some basketball over the weekend for you. Houston versus Iowa State. Pregame at 12:45. Tip-off at 1. And then on Sunday, St. John's versus my UConn Huskies.
Yeah.
Pregame at 10:45. Tip-off at 11.
They ain't been great this year.
They haven't been up to their usual championship status, but as we know, the closer we get to March, the closer we get to another UConn championship.
And our birthdays.
That's right, yeah. It's funny, we were all discussing, I think, Carey, you brought this up for the month of March, since all of our birthdays are in March, doing a Freedom Friday. Every Friday in the month of March.
Why not?
Oh, I thought it was on our birthdays.
Well, we thought about that until we realized that Jamie and I have birthdays on the weekend.
Yes.
So that's not going to work.
Sorry about that, guys.
Yeah. And Jamie's missing like most of the month.
Well, I'll be there for 2 of the Fridays. It'll just be abbreviated.
All right. Well,
yeah, something to think about.
Something to think about.
We can still do it. We can still pull it off, guys.
We can do whatever we want.
We can.
It's our damn show.
It's you're damn right.
Welcome. Take as many damn pictures as you want. Go to the damn souvenir shop. Pick out whatever damn souvenirs you want. It's one of the funniest things in any movie. All right, that'll do it for us. Have a great weekend, everybody. Be safe out there, but have fun. Right, Jamie?
Yep.
For Andrew Marsh, for Carey Davis, for Jamie Rivers, I'm Anthony Stalter. We will see you.